we're back.
What is up?
Hello.
We are
I
back.
actually had some time off. Here we are, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know if it was worth being off last Sunday after watching that main event for WrestleMania.
Oh my
Oh
God.
boy. Oh, that was bad. That was a
Oh,
hard
I missed
movie.
Sunday. I
WrestleMania
missed Sunday.
weekend.
I saw Saturday, so I missed
Yeah.
Sunday. Was it bad?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, that
Oh,
entire
boy.
Sunday was kind of bad.
Why does my
Yep.
phone keep going off? The ghost in my house.
Yep. We're gonna speak. Yeah. So for those wrestling fans that watch us, like WrestleMania was good on Saturday, and then probably like after the first match on Sunday, it was just all downhill. It just went flat.
I never
Yeah.
seen
That's
so
wild.
many botched moves than I did in that Charlotte Flair. I don't even know the other girl's name.
I saw that on YouTube, homie. Wait, that was her versus Rhea Ripley, right?
Nah, not
No.
Rhea Ripley.
Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, it was so many.
Oh,
botched
gotcha.
moves, and I was like, dude, y'all just dropped
Bro.
the ball. It's so bad.
I was just all the matches.
She's
was
getting
like,
old, bro.
They were way too slow. They just all felt
Yeah.
way too slow, and with nothing really happening in between them. It's like, oh, they had like their big like moments, and then in between is like they're setting up for the next moment. It's just so dull.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you know what the problem is too, it's following two really good WrestleManias, so it was like, oh man, that's all I gotta say. But thank
By
you
the
everybody for
way-
joining us. Yeah,
Yep.
go ahead.
Speaking of which, Orlando has put in, like, casted a vote, basically put in money, like, hey, yeah, we want WrestleMania to come over here. If that happens, whoo, taking off.
Dude, you know, like the nosebleed seats are like over $400 to sit in the top deck.
Dollar bill,
$1,500.
y'all. I got it.
1,500 for
Yeah.
those
Listen, not only that, listen, for all you fans out there, especially for WWE. So one of the guys that I know decided to get tickets at the last minute, and because it was the last minute and no one bought floor seats, he got them actually for inexpensive. I think he paid like $800 and got floor seats.
I do that for football for the NFL. I wait till the game day and then get tickets the day of.
Because no one buys them because they're super
Yeah.
expensive. There's still spaces open.
Yo, that front row was
You get recovered by Stone Cold.
$16,000. That front row was $16,000.
Half off, baby. But no, he was in the front row, but he was still, you know what I mean, a couple of things back, but he was still on the floor. He showed me pictures. Fucking, he was next to the walkway, but on the lower end of the walkway, where all the wrestlers come out and everything. Hell yeah, man! You fucking badass.
Nice. All right, so it's the four of us today: Danny, myself, Noah, and Marcus. We're going over news this week. A lot of cool stuff has dropped over the last 2 weeks. A lot of stuff that we've been anxious to talk about. But what we're going to start with first is we're going to talk about Sinners. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to go out there and see it, but yeah, no spoilers. We'll be a spoiler-free discussion on Sinners. But I have to say, excellent movie. I thought that this movie really
10.
I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars on the ratings because the quality. I've seen it 2 times already, and I thought the first time it was a little dark in spots towards the end of the movie where it really needed to be brightened up a little bit. The second showing was the same; it was still dark in spots. So there's a lot of things that were hidden by poor lighting, which that kind of annoyed me. But this is one of those movies where the story was so strong in the first 2 acts. The vampires were just a compliment to it. And it's like, I could have watched, and I don't really like dramas, but I could have went ahead and watched that entire story play out with the brothers in it. Smoke and
That's what I was
Matt.
talking about with Lucas. That's what Lucas and I were talking about. Like, I could have just watched the characters in that time. That would have been great.
Yep.
I will say for this, man, Remick, my only complaint about the movie was I wanted more about Remick.
Oh, yeah.
That was my own. Remick is to me. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not spoiling nothing.
Yep.
It's just you'll agree. Like Remick was such a compelling character. As the main antagonist of the movie, he was just such a compelling character, man. And I just wish we got more of it. You know.
Next week we could do our spoiler discussion because I might go see it again.
Yeah.
I gotta go see it.
Now, Preacher Boy, played by Michael Keaton or Michael Keaton, his debut film. This kid stole the movie. And I've heard a couple of reviewers saying he was the heart and soul of the movie. This kid can sing. He was just like, man, he just took over the entire movie. So like Noah, like you're saying, that whole entire first two parts of the movie, I could just watch that story play out in itself because it's just so grounded, and the history is so good that they're telling in it. And then when they introduced the vampires, like you could have added probably another 20 minutes to this movie just to have the vampires on the film screen more, and I would have been fine with it. This could have been 2.5 hours easy.
That would have. I actually never mind. Spoiler free. Can't say anything. But all I can say is that this movie, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful movie. I love this movie so much.
A few of the actors actually sung in the movie. So not only did he do it, Jack as Remick sung, the two people that's in the trailer sung with him in the movie, and the girl that's with Sammy from the Batman, who plays the mayor. She did her own singing in the movie too. So, but yeah, the movie is awesome, man. It's a fun ride, a thrilling ride. I love the slow build up to.
It's got so many
shit hits
small
the fan.
details, like little artistic and creative details that I'm glad that they added. And a lot
And
of
it pays
stuff
homage
adds,
to so
add
many
the characters, like to them, their personalities, and like without saying it, like there's a scene like where you pick on it. I picked up on something specifically. I don't want to say it, but it's like where you can kind of see like how these characters are and how like they differ from each other. I just really like the small little details that they added in.
I will say MBJ did a great job of distinguishing the twins from one another. Like they each had their own, like you knew exactly who was who. Even when you're looking at them, you knew Stack was Stack, Smoke was Smoke. You never got confused. You know what I mean? Like he really did a good job playing two separate people, you know. But yeah, the movie was just awesome.
Oh yeah, and I actually thought like they paid homage to films that are not just vampire films in this. So Danny, because you're not a fan of it, I'll just throw this one out there. But there's a Shining nod in it, which is very well done.
Hold up! I didn't say I didn't like The Shining. I just said it was boring. Doesn't mean I didn't like it. Because there are a lot of things of The Shining that I thought was nuts. That is cool, but it was just boring. There's two different things, man.
There's that nod, so I give you that one. I won't give you the other one because the other nod that they do, if they would have went that route for the remainder of the movie, it would have been like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
you're bringing in a sci-fi a nod into this film, and it's just like, damn, that would have been great too to play it out. So they really mixed and matched everything really well. I don't compare it to From Dusk Till Dawn as much as I compare it to Near Dark. I really love Near Dark and the chemistry that vampire and Coven had. I felt that in our antagonists here. So that's like, man, if I got some more, that's why it's 3.5 stars, because they left so much meat on the bone for this.
I compare it more so to, like you said, Near Dark than From Dusk Till Dawn, but also, like I told Danny earlier, a lot of it, as far as the lore and the culture aspects of the story, a lot of it was like straight from the Crossroads episodes of Supernatural. Because Supernatural like dwelled on that like almost every other season. There was an episode dedicated to people and the demons and the Crossroads, and this movie like nailed it.
Yep. Just before we go, I haven't said hello to King Matthew yet because he's throwing in some questions for us. So King Matthew, thank you for joining us.
King
CG's
Matthew,
with us as well.
CG?
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Now, before we dive into our second piece of news outside of Sinners, I went and seen Until Dawn this weekend. And you know what? It's getting a lot of flack. I have not played the game myself, but I think like for Until Dawn, if you like the remake of House of Wax, if you like some of those the mid 2000s horror movies that were coming out, this kind of feels like that, and it was kind of enjoyable. I actually liked it. The first half of the movie, it was moving pretty good. The characters are not really, you can't get really invested in some of the characters, but the first half of that movie was very fun. It was enjoyable. And then the second half, it kind of fell off a little bit. But I think what everybody's kind of missing is that there is a detail in this movie where they discover the plot of the movie and what's going on, and they explain that as people, if are going through these experiences, they begin to have a mental break and they begin to have a physical break. So this is some of the things that plays out in the movie where it starts to affect their decision making later on in the film and what they're doing. And then they kind of do some found footage style injected in the middle of it. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
And see, that's what I hate, because as someone who has played the game countless times because of all the choices you can make, like I played where I had all my characters survive. I played where I had killed everybody. I played where some survived and some didn't. This game's story is so rich and so deep that they easily could have adapted from it. And done, stay true to the video game. And that was my biggest disappointment when I saw the trailer and saw Peter Stormare's character in the store the way he was, and not being the doctor psychiatrist that he was in the game. Again, I don't know what happens in the movie yet, so I'm just going off of what I saw in the trailer.
Yep.
And then with Rami Malek and Hayden Panettiere and a dude from
there was like full cast.
Yeah, man, and the girl from Shameless. I mean, the story, like, you could go on YouTube and watch different movies of just the cutscenes based off of what choices players make, man. And I wish they would have just stuck to those stories, man, because that game is so damn good. And like the bare bones story of it, especially dealing with the Wendigos and stuff, dude, they easily could have kept that, man. And that's what I'm disappointed about.
Yep.
King movie is this one?
Until Dawn. Now, real quick, King Matthew, we're going to get to your questions, definitely. We have it all lined up for you. But so, Marcus, on Until Dawn, and CG is something I want to talk to you about, what you mentioned in there. So, Until Dawn, right? So, I haven't played the game, right? So, is the game premise where they die and they all come back, or is it just going through one story?
No.
So it's a story. I'll give you a brief synopsis. A bunch of friends come together. Rami Malek's character brings his friends to a cabin, right? Because his sisters died a year prior. A lot of stuff takes place from that. Based on your choices as characters, determines who lives, who dies throughout.
And the relationships they have for one another.
And the relationships they have, like they turn on each other, they work together. It's so much intertwined in this one common thread.
Yeah.
And then
so it's kind of like it's kind of like Heavy Rain and Mass Effect.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, but
much.
there's still an overarching there's an overarching story about like
story,
about the Wendy boys. I'm not gonna say the full name.
So let's go back on this. So if you make a decision and one of the characters die, right? You just finished out that story, right?
Well, you could save and then go back if you wanted to bring the character back. You could also just replay the game.
So then,
that's just like Heavy Rain, especially like Heavy Rain. Yeah.
So I don't know why people are getting pissed off, because you know what? They brought that element into the film. The film has that, and they explain how that happens. So if you were playing the video game and you had, I made this choice, now it's going to affect how this happens, or this person's going to die because I made this choice. That happens in the movie. They just repeatedly do it over and over again. So they just
they're trying to be meta. Yeah, I got that from the trailer.
That wasn't technically a part of the game. That's just going back to a previous save file like any other game. That's basically cheating. That's not the game, and there's the overall story, which is not the same. Rami Malek was your guy behind the mask, also, so you're missing out on a huge opportunity for Rami Malek to shine yet again on screen. I don't know.
Look, I enjoyed it. I thought some of the antagonists looked really cool. The slasher element in this film was fantastic, and it's just like they tried to mimic the video game itself by doing it. Hey, I made this choice. This person dies, and now they're like, all right, do we continue on or do we just start over? No, you just said that, right? If you go back to your saves and were to start over to bring somebody back to life, that's what they're doing in the movie.
But that's not what they're doing, because the team knows what they're doing. They're like, oh, we could all just let ourselves die and then come back. That's not the same thing that they're doing in the actual video game. Your decisions and your failure to make certain decisions will get people unalived, and those people deal with that and like, oh, they're grieving. They don't bring them back. That's not the point of the game. That's just a cheat thing.
That's just the player wanting to go back and like, let me try this.
That's like, oh no, I lost a character I liked that I was developing. I want to bring it back. I'm gonna go back to a previous save file and then fix my decisions, kind of deal. But
got you.
what they're doing in the movie is different from what the game is. And
Gotcha.
the story, like the story of the video game, from what I've seen compared to the trailer, is not the same thing at all.
Yeah, because the story, like I said, in the video game was rich. It was good. It was like you understood the characters' motives behind their choices.
Gotcha.
A game that didn't needed to be turned into a movie, in my opinion. It's because it's like The Man of Medan and that werewolf game that you played with David Arquette. That's that same company, Hidden Agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those games, in my opinion, they don't need turned into. I think that they're good as they are. Like they're meant to be like playable movies. I'm pretty sure like that's the whole concept behind them. So the idea of turning it into a movie, it seems wasteful in terms of what they could be doing with movie production.
No, but here's the deal. I gotta chime in on this. So I can see where the director or whoever wrote it or whatever, you know what I mean? Because there's so many elements in pre-production.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where they were going and trying to be like, oh, we're trying to be like the actual player, like if they didn't like their decision to go back. But that doesn't make a good film either for the fans. Does that make sense? Because just because you can doesn't mean it's the best story. It was like Heavy Rain. Like I said, I really do, because Heavy Rain, when Heavy Rain first came out, Heavy Rain was it was one of a kind at the time, blew up. And everyone loved it, that your decisions change the story, and the Mass Effect as well and stuff like that. But as Noah and Marcus is saying, there is one main canon story, right? That you can tell. And also they've had fans before vote on which storyline is the best to follow. Right. And so if I was to do it, I agree with Noah. This is the problem. Like, same thing. Why we don't want to make anime movies or cartoon movies and stuff like that is because where do you go? Because when you adapt a comic book, it's different, right? The thing I love about certain animes is that when they have the manga chapters, how they add to it is like, oh, the battle in the comic is short. So what they do is they make the fucking battle super long, super detailed, all this other jazz that's not in the actual comic book. You're adding to the story. You're adding value to it. But when you're already did that and now you're going to make a live action, how do you make it even better? It's almost impossible. It's the same thing with video games like this. It's just like, what do you add to this that brings value to the fans that could be even better, right? So you really need a super fan to really do it well, and even then, you are highly likely to get some scrutiny because you didn't do certain things right.
This is how I would have gone about it creatively. I would have not have made this into a film. I would have made it into a series. Where folks, whether it's limited, I would have tested the first season where it was limited, where people could vote on the experience and make it interactive, where like, okay, who's gonna, die, or how would you, based off of how they played the video game, and then kind of do it like how American Horror Story does, where they recycle characters, where hell, if it was successful the first season, bring it back a second season, same situations, but it's different choices now. It plays out differently, just like you do in the video game. And I would have done it that way, where it would have been engaging for the audience and not so much trying to cram so much into an hour and a half, 2 hour movie. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting point, Marcus, because Final Destination did that on one of their DVDs, that you can pick certain choices. Yeah, that you can pick certain choices and it changes the story.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was Final Destination 3, I believe, on the DVD.
That's what I'm thinking too, 3.
Yeah. And so what happened is when you had the DVD,
you're right, you did do that.
When you had the DVD, everything would like stop, and it would just be like, which one do you choose? And then it changed the story. But if you had it interactive, I mean, that's gonna be very, very hard to do for like a Netflix or Amazon and whatnot.
Netflix has done it.
Netflix has done it before.
Have they really? Oh, then even better.
And it's really fun.
So excuse my ignorance, guys. I appreciate you, but excuse my ignorance. But yeah, so if Netflix already done it, then yeah, you're 100% right. Then this type of video game show, if you will, should have been that. You know what I mean? Instead of a film, it should have been exactly that. Super interactive. Noah, like you said, is super fun, right? For people to make choices. Then why not? Let's do that instead. You know, that's a good idea, Marcus.
Another important thing to note that you said that kind of bothered me is that in the movie you didn't get invested into the characters. That is another big part of the game.
The game,
Caring
you
about
get
the characters, because
invested.
you
get
could let
invested.
characters die. Oh no, this quick time event, I failed it. She slipped and broke her neck. Oh no, like that happens. So you want to be invested in these characters in the game. So that's another big thing right there. It's like, if I'm not invested in the characters, why am I gonna give a shit if they all make it out?
Well, that's the same thing with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot on Netflix. I didn't care about any of the characters. I just liked the way the story went. But Until Dawn, here the biggest misstep before we talk about the director is that the introduction to the story is about two sisters, very similar to what you guys were talking about, the death and the one guy in the video game. That's where they fumbled the ball, because they didn't expand upon that relationship, and they could have. So they kind of fumbled the ball there. But so CG had mentioned that, hey, this is the director who did Lights Out on Netflix. So this is from
the
not
film
Netflix.
or the short film.
He did the short film. Yeah, he
Oh.
did the short film, and the short film was picked up, so he actually directed the feature length. And Lights Out.
I didn't know he directed the feature too.
Yeah, Lights Out is a very good film.
I like Lights Out. I like Lights
Yeah, I
Out.
like Lights Out. I didn't know that it was the same
good
director.
expanding idea.
Yeah, and then he followed that up with Annabelle Creation. And Annabelle Creation is the best one.
That's my favorite of the content.
Is it now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I live under a rock, so I mean, I'm playing catch up in my entire life. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then he took a break from horror and did Shazam, but we won't fault him for doing Shazam.
Hold on, which Shazam? Because Shazam 1 was incredible.
He did the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, that one was incredible, dude. Honestly, out of all the DC films that came out of the last universe, Wonder Woman was my favorite, because the first one was, I thought they depicted her very, very well. Oh my God, it was incredible, dude. That was my favorite DC film. I was like, oh, even Man of Steel. I loved Man of Steel, right? But when Wonder Woman came out, I was like, boy, this is it. And then Shazam came out, dude. I loved every second of it, because definitely similar to the animated series, but a little bit more campy. But it was more real. It was just like, if you were a teenage boy, right? Like, what would you do if you had superpowers? Loved every fucking second of it. Loved it. Incredible. So, second one, though, good God. Jesus.
I didn't bother with the second one.
Oh, dude, it was bad. It was really bad.
I think I gave up on the series at Aquaman. I barely watched.
Oh, dude, Aquaman was trash, bro. Aquaman was trash. There was a lot of films that were trash. The Flash was trash. Dude, Zack Snyder's Justice League, you heard my review on it on my channel. Loved every second of that one. He really, like, his version was so good compared to him doing it halfway, and then Josh Whedon doing the doing the second half. But yeah.
So I'll just say this: Sandberg has then, in our opinions, he's had a series of really good movies, and this one may be the flaw in there. But I think if we come back to this in about 10 years, I think people are going to say, I get it now. I get what he was doing, and I kind of like it, because you'll see films that'll come out like this eventually in the future, and then people will come. It'll be like Scream 4. People are going to say, damn, Scream 4 was ahead of its time, and we're going to see the same thing about this one.
Dude, Scream 4, I'm glad you told me to go back and rewatch it, because, man, I really do appreciate it way more now than before. Because when Scream 4, when I watched it before, it was one of those, like, whatever. Like, I wasn't invested, and then rewatching it was really good.
Yep. Alrighty. So
I'll give it a chance. I'll try. I'll probably go see it like sometime this week.
I will not be giving it a chance.
It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Like I said, if you like the House of Wax remake, then you're probably gonna like this.
Like that one.
Was that with Paris Hilton? The House of Wax remake?
Yep.
That was a fun movie, though.
That's another film. Like, when I first watched it, I was like, oh man, this is horrible. Like, the best thing was seeing Paris Hilton get unalived. And then I watched it like 10 years later. It's like, this is really good. Like, this is really good. Yep. It's not really a House of Wax remake. It's more of a Tourist Trap remake, but it's a really good film. It was really done well.
Don't you love how movies get like that? That's like Donnie Darko, when it first came out, was not well received.
They get better over time.
Well, it's a cult classic, and then the director's cut is even better. So it's like, yeah. But anyway, let's keep it going.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's talk about Predator's Badlands. So that trailer.
Wait, Dave, didn't you say someone had comments that we were going to address real quick?
Yeah, CG. We're gonna get to King Matthews, but we're not up to where he's dropped all the comments in. So he's a couple of stories ahead of us. All right. So Predator Badlands dropped its trailer this week. But did you notice right here in the middle? I got to go back a little bit.
Independence Day.
Yep. Are we getting a tease on our next little crossover with Predators? We got the Harvesters from the Independence Day films.
Yeah, look, you got a T-Rex on the right. What is it?
What,
dude? When you have the T-Rex on the right, what are they gonna do? Turok next, or even
Jurassic Park, man.
Turok or Jurassic Park crossover?
I was joking.
Are you telling me that's not money right there? Predator Jurassic Park?
No, not at all.
People are going to see that.
No, it's a better shot if it was Turok, because Turok was futuristic with dinosaurs in the video game. Just saying. Ugh.
You can't. I don't think you could do it now, because like if you watch,
of course you could do Turok now. Are you kidding me?
No, I mean like a Predator version of that, because this scene right here, like we watch Elle Fanning's eyes, and it's like, wait a minute, like how futuristic are we going in this film here?
This film just looks
she's
like
synthetic.
shit.
She's a synthetic.
It doesn't matter. This thing looks like shit. Let's call it for what it is. It looks like shit, dude.
I disagree, man.
Can we look at the Predator real quick and just talk about?
Yes, thank you.
The Yautja, not the Predator. The Yautja.
Whatever it's called, dude. It's fucking trash. Look, oh my god, dude. This is
my
Disney.
Only gripe again.
No, don't give me this only thing, Marcus. Don't give me that.
It looks fucking stupid.
My
it looks so bad.
It's not practical.
It's bad, bro, and it's Disney. No, dude, listen, it's Disney. It doesn't matter.
Young adult.
It's Disney CGI that's trash.
Antagonist. That's the whole point.
No, I hate the CGI. I do. I wish it was practical. I wish it was animatronic like it used to be.
Dude, it's 20th century.
I like the idea
Disney.
that it's a young. I like the idea that it's a young Yautja coming of age. You know what I mean? Like going through his trials. I love that idea.
No. Dude, they're a race. They're again, if you want to make it canon with Alien versus Predator and stuff like that, they're just a warrior race that goes and just kills people and hunts people, and that's it.
They even say they go through trials.
Okay, but still, we don't need to see it. We don't need to see it. There's some things that are better off. Listen, there are some things that are better off in dialogue than showing it, and there's some things that are better showing it than dialogue. We don't need to see this.
They kind of did show it in the first Alien versus Predator movie, but
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Brief. It was very brief. And how are we going from Prey to this?
It's bad, dude.
And it's from the same director. It's from the same director too.
Trash.
So they gave.
I'm pretty sure it's not his fault, though. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure it's not his fault. I'm pretty sure the studios and whoever they hired for CGI and all this other dumb shit. Maybe the story is good because it's the same director, right? Cool, but again, it's just all the elements to it, man. It's just like, why are we doing this?
You know what, Marcus? Now it's hitting me, right? We have the outro going through his coming of age, becoming a warrior. It's Prey told on the other side. That's what it is.
Everybody, like majority of the fans have been wanting a Predator movie from the Yautja's point of view. This is what we finally get. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for it, dude.
If we wanted the POV from their race, what we needed to do is have like a video game, kind of like how they did in Doom, even though Doom was a terrible movie. Dude, my favorite scene is when they made it like the video game and it was POV. You want to do that? Have the freaking visor of the actual fucking Predator glowing and seeing people and him actually chasing people. You know what I mean? With that'd be sick. No, they did it. They did it when he scans. Yeah, when he scans people went out. But I'm talking about like legit, like hunting them, running and with the. Oh my god, it'd be incredible.
I will say two things. One, I think this movie is gonna do one thing with the storyline, which is make something more interesting out of Elle Fanning's character that it's not going to really touch up on enough, and then it's gonna rush it to the sides of a better story. And two, how well received was
Prey,
the slasher POV movie that just came out? That wasn't very well received. So if we're gonna go based off of how reception goes, I don't even think that this looks good. But I don't think that it's gonna be received well. Honestly.
The only thing I'm curious about is Elle Fanning synthetic. They show her wearing a Yautja mask. Almost, it looks like. I'm wondering if they're combining or they're trying to turn her into Machiko Noguchi from the comics, who was a female human trapped on Yautja Prime, and they actually took her in. The Yautja took her in, where she became a hunter. Yeah, she.
You know what?
And
you
so
know what
I'm
I
wondering
would
if they're
rather
doing
see?
that with Elle Fannin's case.
No, that's not her. Look at the hands.
You know what I'd rather see, to be
No,
honest?
look at another shot. You'll see another shot of
Alright.
her walking in a cloak and has a right here. You'll see her
Alright.
with the Yautja mask on.
With the feudal Japan fan storyline.
Right there.
Well, feudal
That was-
Japan will get there, but no, you know what I really want to see, to be honest, if they ever adapt it, but I know it's probably never going to happen, but maybe because Disney owns both, I want to see the Predator versus Wolverine comic.
Yep.
Bat in the Sun
wanna-
did something for it.
I saw the Bat in the Sun
versus
thing
Predator
too.
was one,
But that
one
was
of my favorite.
But I'm talking about, dude, if you do Wolverine versus the Predator, that was a wild. Like, they kind of nerfed Wolverine. Don't get me wrong, but like that was a wild comic. Super
I felt
wild.
like
comic.
Batman versus Predator was better.
Did you really?
Yeah. Batman got fucked up.
Yeah, but so did Wolverine, and Wolverine has
No, I
healing
know,
abilities and all this other
I
jazz.
know.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Wild.
I know.
Yep.
Nah,
Yeah,
Wolverine can't easily win. Nah, you got to read the story, Michael. Logan could not easily win against a Yautja.
I know. He couldn't easily win. He couldn't
Something
easily
like
win,
that.
but it shouldn't have been so one-sided the way they made it. They made the
Yeah.
Predator whoop Wolverine's ass consistently, which is wild to me. Anyway,
Yep. Moving on then. So, well, if you guys, CG's like, I got faith because of Prey. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
there's one that I have faith in, and we're going to talk about it in 2 seconds.
All right, let me go ahead and pull that one up there real quick. Let's see. So 2 weeks ago, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were going over some of our rankings of the Scream franchise. We got this.
This looks fucking good. There you go,
Yeah,
Noah.
baby.
Noah,
I
you
can't
wanted your
wait for
feudal
this.
Japan? This is an anthology for the Predator in all different times, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't wait for this one. bro.
Vikings, samurais,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah,
shebang.
World War II.
Incredible.
Looks good. This looks really good. I'm gonna skip around so we don't get flagged for it, but I happen to notice a couple of scenes here. So here's our Vikings.
Yep. Incredible, dude. Look at that. Oh, looks
Mhm.
so good. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
you
this
gotta-
fight
you
scene is
gotta-
pretty good.
Yeah, you got to.
Boom! Right into the shit, dude.
Ah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. So
This
this
fucker
looks
got
pretty
an eye patch.
badass. So this is also from the same director, right, Marcus? You were saying this is
Yes.
From the
Yep.
So it looks like he's gonna hit a home run on the Hulu anthology and maybe make some money on the Badlands.
Mhm.
I think, but it goes to what we were talking about, that a lot of people would just like to blame you know what it is the director is the pitcher of, like, in a baseball team, right?
Mhm.
Everyone can mess up on the team, but everyone blames the pitcher. Same thing with
Mhm.
football, right? Everyone else can make all the mistakes they want, but then we blame the quarterback, right?
Mhm.
It's the same thing with this. I'm very sure that, as a director, phenomenal, etc. However, when it comes to your team, you know what I mean? Whether it's CGI or writers or even producers, because we've seen what producers do to movies. Amazing Spider-Man 2 still to this day would have been way better if the producers didn't botch it, right?
Mhm.
So it's one of those things that, the way that Badlands looks, it looks horrendous. It looks terrible just from the eyes. Maybe the story is really good, right? But
Mhm.
just the trailer they dropped just looks like trash.
Mhm.
But this looks really good, and if the stories do very well, I can see this booming and it overshining Badlands.
Does
my opinion.
does Badlands get better if they use practical effects?
Yes, definitely. I mean, yes, that would help a lot, but just the way the trailers cut up and what's happening, they're not giving you too much, but they're not giving you anything either.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those, like,
Yep.
Okay, sure. Right?
I don't know why they labeled this as a trailer, because to me it came off more as a teaser. 'Cause like
Teaser,
Danny
right?
said,
Yeah.
it doesn't give you any really information other than Deck is trying to prove himself, to the claim.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all it gives,
Yeah, and
So-
when you get something that's this limited, it's either really good because they wanted to keep the surprises in, or it's really bad and they wanted to hide it. So
I think when we get a full official trailer, it might sway some people. I think probably
Mhm.
depending
I
on
just-
how well that trailer is edited. Obviously,
Mhm.
All I want is for all of us to bully the hell out of these studios like we did for Sonic, because look at how amazing all 3 Sonic movies were. because we bullied the shit out of them, right? Like we just need to bully these studios and be like, listen, none of us is gonna watch this unless you change it. You know.
Now I will say this:
it's crazy to think where the Sonic universe would be if it wasn't bullied,
right?
Yeah.
Look.
I will say this: they were the first to actually listen to fans, because I remember when they first released the image of Sonic, everybody trashed it, and they went back and redid everything. You know,
so, was that done on purpose?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I don't think it was a PR. It is great marketing for PR, right? But I don't think that was because the
money though to do that.
Yeah, because remember they've released, because if it was just an image, fine, right? But when they released a trailer with that CGI, that's a totally different thing, homie. Yeah, that costs a lot of money, and they spent more money going back and redoing everything and yada yada yada. I mean, if it is a PR stunt, kudos on them. But dude, the way it looked like, it doesn't look like it was a PR stunt. It was like, oh shit, we fucked up.
Yeah.
But I will say, with this Yautja, like again, I wish it was practical. But I will say this is the most emotive we've seen a Yautja on film. As far as like when he sees that big creature coming at him, that's the first time you ever seen really a Yautja like be that emotive, and he showed fear. And then he, bossed up. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Sure.
But I wish it was practical again, So.
Honestly, just give me Prey in IMAX. That needs a theater release because Prey was so damn good. Story was so damn good.
Everything. That feral predator, Yautja, is my second favorite next to Wolf in AVP Requiem. Yeah.
Alrighty, let's switch over to some slasher stuff for the remainder of everything. So we're gonna talk a little bit. I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot.
Me and Danny are biased.
Yo, I'm not biased, man. I'm not biased, but
no, we biased for Jennifer Love Hewitt though. We love
that is true. That is true, man. Even in her older age.
Listen, as a kid, I watched Love Whisperer. It does not make me, or Ghost Whisperer. What the fuck is it called? Ghost Whisperer does not make you want to watch this movie anymore.
Dude, all I'm saying is this looks really good.
Yeah, I really like this bath bomb here because it just kind of sets the whole stage. Really put in there.
That scene kind of reminds you of Slither, like that angle, like the from from Slither. I haven't seen the movie. I just know the DVD, what it looks like,
dude.
But I look, this guy here. I don't really care for him. I don't know if I even care for the blonde in this movie.
It doesn't matter, man. Like. The fact this trailer set this up so well. I mean, it really made me go, "Oh shit! Well, Scream's fucked this year." It really did, bro. It really did, because Marcus said too before. Marcus said it is that when I Know What You Did Last Summer first came out, it wasn't as gory, yada yada yada. Now we're getting gore with this, and and now. Just the camera angles, the lighting, the setup. The trailer was very well done, and I'm hoping because we've seen some trailers that were amazing, and then the movie shit. Then we've seen some horrible trailers that the movie was amazing. So I'm hoping that this movie is really good because it looks fantastic, really fantastic.
So this is the conversation that Danny's referring to is our off the camera conversation. So where I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'm going to pull it up real quick, is borrowing from Scream 7. Or not Scream 7, but Scream 6. If we look at a lot of these. Or, Scream 5. Where you see a lot of the shots. And I didn't watch the trailer until today. And I noticed some of the things where I was like, oh, look at this. Look, we're doing the whole Sidney Prescott scene. We're doing a lot of the similar things. So if you look at it, they're really just kind of like taking what Scream 6 did, and there's going to be people that are out there that are going to say like, hey, Scream 5, so they're doing it again. They borrowed from Scream the first time they came out, now they're doing it again. But realistically, I Know What You Did Last Summer was filmed before the original Scream. It just got released in reverse order.
And then so also to piggyback on what we were saying though, is just that even if it's a carbon copy, if they do it better, who cares? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Who cares? Because Scream 5 was good. You know what I mean? It was in my top rankings, obviously, but it wasn't like the most amazing thing. I had so many gripes with that shit too. You know what I mean? And so if I Know What You Did Last Summer could do it better, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not?
And now with the news of this being a direct sequel to part 2, and it's ignoring the crappy straight to DVD part 3, a lot of people didn't even, like Danny earlier, didn't even know there was a third I Know What You Did Last Summer movie where they turned Ben Willis into a ghost in that one. It was so bad. So I'm glad that they're ignoring that. But I'm curious though, like, since this is a direct sequel to 2, Ben is dead, his son is dead, his daughter is dead. Who's going to be the fisherman? That's what I want to know. Like,
I know who it is. I'm going to tell you right now. It's Julie.
You think so?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's her. Yep.
Interesting.
I don't think so.
Yep. I think it's all telegraphed in this like it was in Thanksgiving on who the slasher was.
Nah. Yep. You know who I think it is? I think it's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, bro.
Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Ray.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so, man. I think he's just like over, like it just click. Like after all that dumb shit, just snapped. That's it.
I mean, I would be cool with either one of them being. Like, I would be cool with either one.
You know what? Plot twist. They're gonna do a Scream. It's both of them.
Could be. That's part 2, right? That's part 2. There's 2 of them in part 2. Yep. But I'm telling you right now, like, and we're gonna get to this because it'll tie into this. So King Matthew is like, do you think Ray will die in the new one? I think so. I think Ray is the red herring. And I think Julia is going to be the slasher. Yep.
Yeah,
no, you know why? Because it doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense to bring back Julia's character. If she's moved on, like Sydney did in Scream 5, if she's moved on and moved out of the town and Ray stayed behind and he looks all disheveled and he's drinking and stuff like that, why go and get her? Why? There's no point to bring her back into this. Because
there is.
What? Ray is saying, oh, there's been murders like this before in the town, but they're not connected. So what? It's a fish hook.
Yeah, so but you don't know. You don't know. Well, hold on, Dave. Come on, man. Yeah. You got to think a little bit more creatively than that. Her family could move there. You know what I mean? And she's visiting family. There's a bunch of shit that could bring you back. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it would make.
In the trailer, they reveal that they go and look for her. So they're bringing her like they went. Hey, Sydney, we need your help. Hey, Julia, we need your help. No, you don't.
And you know what's funny? That it may be, hey, we need your help, but he just didn't know where she was to kill her, so brought her back.
I'm telling you, she's it, man. She's the slasher. I got that feeling.
I mean, she's not listed on the cast, but you think they'll even mention Brandy, Julie's friend from part 2?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's Brandy all along.
Yeah, she survived. She did survive. So.
Oh man,
maybe they will. Maybe they'll mention her as like a victim of this one. Maybe
it's a great grandchild of the original killer.
Yeah,
his father's what is it? Father's brother's son's former roommate.
But so are you guys excited for it? Well,
it looks great, dude.
Like, even though part 2 wasn't nearly as good as the original,
it wasn't good.
I mean, it was, and it was silly. I mean, it was still watchable though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you get kicks out of it. And the kills, the unalive moments were cool in that one.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, I could do for more. I Know What You Did Last Summer, man. I enjoy it.
It's not
almost okay.
Yeah, it's not overdone though. You know what I mean? It wasn't overdone like how Scream is getting to, right?
Yeah,
and to have it as not a requel but a sequel, which is cool because it's not a total reboot that you're introducing a whole new storyline. It's basically one big story now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I guess it's kind of a requel still, but they're saying it's just a sequel to the, you know what I mean? So I like that, man. I like that it's not overdone. I like that we haven't seen it in a long time.
Did you all ever watch the show? That's like it's closer to the book. It's actually closer to the book than the film.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't even know there's a book.
But it was based on the book first. But it wasn't. I don't know. I'm hoping for this movie because the show left a sour taste in my mouth because I love the book so much. So yeah, I'm hoping this will give me, refresh, a breath of fresh air for the franchise.
Anything's better than Scream 6 and 7. That's all I have to say. So I'm for it.
Thank
you. Look at this. Yes, Michael. I just said it. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
As a Scream fan, I'm with y'all. I got
man.
high hopes for this one.
Dude.
I think I know you did last summer. It's probably going to be better, but Scream 7's drowning itself currently, and it's happy to do so. I don't think I'm going to see this movie, but I don't think it's going to be bad. I just don't have any particular.
So we got CG's on the other side there. So we're gonna talk about this in a little bit. We'll get into some Scream stuff, of course, because it's almost like you can't escape it, and that's probably one of the issues too. Is like you just can't escape any Scream news that's out there. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I think Julia James is it. The next piece of news that I'm actually a little bit more excited about than this reboot here is going to be the reboot of Urban Legends.
No shit, dude.
Yep. So Urban Legends is coming back.
I dig it. I love the first one. Second one was okay, but I love the first one.
Man, I haven't seen that in a very, very long time.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
the first one's good.
It's so good.
I gotta. You guys are gonna make me go back and watch it, dude. I haven't seen it in fucking forever.
I'm gonna have to watch it too. I can't formulate an opinion because I have not seen this.
Case in point, right now, like Danny, I'm feeling the same exact way as you. Like they announced, I Know What You Did Last Summer being rebooted. It's like, okay, all right, I'll give it a chance. They announced Urban Legend, and it's like, you know what? I want to go and watch the first one again. Because the first one was that good. So I think a reboot, an updated storytelling around the digital age in Urban Legends. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty good.
That.
Yeah.
So is it a full legit reboot or is it a sequel?
I think it's gonna be a reboot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the article. Yeah, I think it's a brand new reboot. Now it would be cool just to be meta if they pulled Bond. And you know how Daniel Craig's Bond brought back Dame Judi Dench as him?
Yep.
They should bring back Robert Englund as the professor.
No, you know why though? I'm going to tell you why
they should bring him back as the professor.
I'm going to tell you really quick why I don't like that, to be honest. It confused everybody because remember, Daniel Craig is not a different Bond. He's the same Bond. And this is what the problem was of trying to transition that 007 title to someone else. Like when they try to bring in the female character and try to make her 007, that was James Bond's number. We all know that 6 and GoldenEye, you know what I mean? And all this other jazz, right? Like those were the people. And everyone thought that Daniel Craig was supposed to be a different Bond, but no, this is supposed to be a prequel. The prequel is that Casino Royale is the first book out of all of them. And Casino Royale is when you see him fall in love for the first time. That's why when he felt the way when she was a traitor and she died, he's like, the bitch is dead. And then it's the same chick, though, throughout all the Bonds when he's like, I fell in love once. And that was that girl. So when you brought in M back and she's older, you're like, wait. You know what I mean? Like it just confused a lot of people that's why everyone thought Daniel Craig was a different Bond, but he's not. Sean Connery. What's his breath? And then Brunson, right?
David Lazenby.
I forgot his first name. My favorite, GoldenEye one.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan. Thank you. Yeah. So, but all of them are the same Bond, dude. All of them. So it's kind of like, what are we doing, right? So I'd rather not, dude. I hear you, Marcus, but I'd rather not bring Robert Englund because I'm afraid that's gonna happen again. That everyone's like, oh, what's going on here? You know?
I think it could. Well, the reason why I think it could work because he was only in 1 or 2 scenes in the original.
Yeah, that's true.
Briefly. So I felt like if they brought him back and expanded his character a little more as far as knowing the urban legends and lore, I think it could work. No, I totally get what you were saying because a lot of people were confused. Hell, I'm a huge Bond fan and I was confused. You know, when I first saw Casino Royale. So I get what you're saying.
And it's wild too, because Casino Royale is the first, like I said, in the books, and then the sequel, the second book is Quantum of Solace. So it's just like they did all these stories, then they went back and did it in modern times, which they should have done it in older times. So it's like, you know what I mean? So you could just see the chronological order, but they didn't. So I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, so CG's got this out there that Urban Legends is going to be based on like the Urban Legends of YouTube and social media, which is fantastic because I go down those rabbit holes all the time and the dark web stuff. So seeing that translate into a film is going to be really fun.
Nice. I like that.
I think it has a lot of potential. So it looks like Scream has done it again. We're going to end up seeing a bunch of reboots when it comes to slasher flicks.
Yeah.
I'm curious though with this Urban Legend though too, because Rebecca Gayhart's character as the killer, she didn't die. And then part 2, it was like a whole new killer. You know what I mean? So I'm like curious what they're gonna do with this. So
yeah, about that.
Yep. So before we move on to our next story, what slasher flick from the early 2000s would you like to see rebooted?
Ooh,
rebooted slasher.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. I have to think now.
Or even like, or even the wave of CW, like the CW horror movies, like I always like to describe it.
You know what I want? I wouldn't want a remake or a reboot, but a sequel. I would love a freaking
Jack Frost sequel.
Man. The Faculty, man. Jack Frost.
That's what I want. That's what I want, rebooted, brother. Hell yeah.
Hey, when I used to work at Blockbuster, and Dave could tell you how we used to just throw movies on the TV, man. I used to watch Jack Frost like religiously.
Yep.
When I was in the store.
Listen, not a slasher. Listen, not a slasher, but I want Gremlins 3 finally, bro. I want Gremlins 3.
It's greenlit.
It's been greenlit forever, Marcus.
No. It's greenlit for real. They released an official poster.
It's been like that forever. I want it. Listen. I know it's not a slasher, but that's what I want. I want it so bad.
I want the Faculty. I want another Faculty movie, man. I love the Faculty.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Let me see, man. Now you're gonna make me think, Dave.
All right. Well, let's take a look. Yeah. So we're gonna do what Danny's doing. We're gonna take a look at
2000 slashers.
Yeah, slashers and horror.
Dude, what if we got, even though this ain't 2000s, man? What if we got like a more updated Killer Clowns that's more demented?
They greenlit that too.
Did
Killer
they?
Clowns, yeah. Apparently, it's been that's been greenlit again too.
Good.
We got the Ring. Well, we got Final Destination, right? So there's one of them.
Yeah.
13 Ghost, possibly.
Yes. I want a sequel. I don't want a reboot because that movie was great. I want a sequel. To 13 Ghosts.
Yep. So 13 Ghosts is one of them that we can definitely.
I want them to reboot Jason X, please. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Guilty pleasure, but yes.
Yes, it's such a guilty pleasure, dude.
That movie is so fun, though. It's stupid, but it's fun.
It's so bad.
This is what I want to do.
It's like Sharknado before Sharknado, dude.
If I had the power and the money, they came out with a comic book, like a two or three part comic book sequel to the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre that showed the Hewitts where the FBI came down to hunt them down. That story was so fucking good that they should have made it into live action.
Oh, here's one.
So good, man. I hope I'm trying to figure that out, like how to get the rights, one, to the comic and then two, to the story. That should be made into a movie, man. It was so good. Where Leatherface, his arm is missing because, you know, Jessica Biel cut it off. So they put different attachments on it, like a meat hook and all kind. It was so cool, man. It was such a good. And then you find out like the whole town is in on it because they're in fear of the Hewitts. It was so cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dave.
What?
Leslie Vernon came out in the 2000s, and the cast said if they got greenlit, we can get a sequel. That would be great.
They did. They said it on our interview.
Yeah, I know. They said they were down for that, which would be awesome. Here's the deal. A couple of them that we may like. I know of these. I've seen them, but they weren't that great. But See No Evil.
Oh, I like that. Second one,
we can see that.
Not so much, but the first one.
And then Prom Night. Not that great, but
it wasn't that bad. But yeah,
I know. But he's saying reboots or sequels.
Yeah.
You see Prom Night rebooted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're gonna reboot it, what do you reboot it to? You reboot it to the original one or the sequel with Mary Lou?
No, it would probably be the original one.
The original.
I don't know, man.
Mary Lou was cool. Mary Lou is like I love Mary Lou, but I say leave that one alone because I love it so much. Leave Mary Lou alone.
I'll throw a reboot out that's a little bit older. Intruder. I introduced that to Noah,
Ooh.
several months ago. Intruder, the
Intruder was
slasher in the
good.
grocery store.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
very good.
Intruder was a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, what's up, Nerdy Kitty? Welcome.
Nerdy
That might-
Kitty.
Remaking Intruder might scar too many retail workers nowadays.
Very
real now.
We got it makes more sense with the way stores are being bought out and stuff like that, which are gonna break some horrible
Yeah,
news
true.
for everybody.
You know what I want though? A reboot of, and even though it's still fairly new, because I think it came out 2010,
What?
13. There was a slasher film called Girl House about a killer who was bullied when he was a kid. Sadie Sink was in that. And what it is he's in a house full of cam girl models.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And so they could modernize it today to like OnlyFans models and still keep the cam girl thing too. But
True.
that movie was actually pretty damn good though. Girl House was actually pretty good.
Can we actually get a good sequel to freaking Jeepers Creepers finally? Can we actually get a good sequel, dude? Please.
The original or the first? Oh, the second one.
No. Listen, even
Because
though
I
the
hate
second
the
one,
second one.
dude, no, even though the second one had its good moments, there's no good sequel to the original
at all.
The original left an imprint so hard. We need to see a direct sequel to that one.
That
Does he
last
still
one
own the
was
rights?
so
That
bad.
creep?
No, I
Does
don't
he
think
still
so.
own the rights? The creep?
He's officially out of it. Yeah.
Okay,
but
good.
that last one was so bad. I went to see that in the theaters because it was one of the first films that came out post-pandemic. I went to go see it, and that last one, there were scenes that were incomplete. There was like green screen errors all throughout like the second half of the movie. It's like, oh my god, it was so bad.
Dude, after the second one, I was
didn't
like, I'm
even
good.
bother with the third one. I didn't even watch the third one.
Yeah, after the second one, I was like, I think I'm good.
Michael Joe's got out there a new Hatchet movie with Victor Crowley. That last Victor Crowley movie, that was the best in the entire franchise.
Yeah, it was
fantastic. So I don't know why they haven't gotten back to that one. So I definitely would love to see that. But so we talked about that. So
I want a sequel to Derek Mears' Friday 13th.
What?
I want a sequel to Friday 13, 2009.
No.
Yeah. What?
No.
That was
no.
That was
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
The killer cut.
They humanized him way too much. No.
That movie.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that movie was good enough for a sequel.
Thank you. It wasn't even like it wasn't a good reboot. You made him so human. He's running through fucking tunnels.
This version had a better
story. Dude, he was supernatural.
He survived.
Dude, again. Oh my god, again. Don't get with me, Marcus, because you know we are fans of it. Here's the deal. Jason is supernatural. This bitch should not be running
after
through
part
tunnels.
4. He was a supernatural.
It doesn't matter. It does. Yeah, what? Are you kidding me? He died.
No, he survived. They made that canon. He survived the drowning, dude.
No,
I mean, that was a theory.
That was a theory. Whose head was in the voodoo shrine in the first one? With his mom.
What?
In the first one, the voodoo shrine. In the first one, when his mom did the whole voodoo shrine, whose head was it?
The voodoo shrine. Pamela's head in part 3.
No,
I'm talking about part 3
first one.
with the shrine.
No, in the first one.
In the first one.
Yes, there.
I know the shrine in the second one, the Pamela Voorhees. Now I'm a little confused.
No, part 3 is with Pamela's head in the shrine.
No, part 2
is Pamela's head.
Part 2.
No.
Oh yeah, part 2. You're right. Part 2. Yeah, Jim.
I'm gonna find it.
That was the shrine. That's where she puts the sweater on. That's Pamela's head. What you talking about?
No, I'm gonna find it. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I am.
Anyway, continue, guys. Anyway, continue.
Meanwhile, Michael's with us. You can have a human.
Jason did not officially become supernatural until they resurrected him in part 6.
He's a
That's
deadite.
not true.
He's a deadite. He's a deadite.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's the best theory.
I have a theory up proving that he's a deadite. I tied it all together.
They even talk about it in Crystal Lake Memories. All the filmmakers said Jason didn't become supernatural until part 6.
He's a deadite. His mom used the Necronomicon to raise him from the dead. And
thank you.
And he started rotting after she died because the book got lost, and that's where he goes on that downward spiral.
Yeah, part 2 through 4, Jason is very much human, man. That's even
I don't know, man. He's got demon glossed over eyes that the Deadites had, which were like the white glossy eyes in 2, 3, and 4.
I'm telling you, he's been dead, dude. Hold on, I'll find. You know what? Let's continue, but I'll find it and I will share it.
I don't know.
So I'm looking up. You're right, Marcus. The Shrine is the second one. But I'm telling you, there's a scene that it shows that why she kept talking like Jason and whatnot, and it was because that I'm telling you, it was like her voodoo shit. I'm telling you.
Oh, interesting. All right, so there is a new slasher that is coming out, which I gotta talk to my friends here because their Indiegogo is still up too. But so we got the first scenes for Felissa Rose's new slasher film that's coming out, Last Sleepover, and I'm looking at this slasher, and the premise of this is like Slaughterhouse. It's a person that's getting picked on and bullied on as a kid in high school, and then 20 years later, there's a reunion, and everybody returns for the reunion, and they start getting picked off. The character itself and some of the conversations around it make it sound like it's going to be really good. It looks like it's going to have that indie movie feel of just looking at some of these screenshots that I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm kind of accustomed to, but that mask is pretty wicked.
Yeah, I
The
like
only
the mask
thing
and the
is,
wig. Yeah.
the only thing is with that mask, if you look at it, it looks like it's button eyes in there. How is any realistic slasher moving around with those type of eyes in there? But this looks like it's going to be a fun film. Go ahead.
They got those. So if you go to like Spirit Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
they got those where like it's imprinted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's stamped on there, but you can't see out of it. Like kind of like how they do the special effects contacts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So the person wearing it could see through it though, but even looking at it, it looks like they can't see.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger here on screen here, because look at that. I don't know that. No,
Oh,
Marcus.
no.
Yeah, they
you're
are
right.
Actually
actually
looks pretty
button.
dope.
That's just
Yeah.
button. Yeah, those.
Yeah.
It looks pretty dope though.
No,
Yeah,
it
that
does.
does
It
it.
looks like freaking amazing. I like this. I'm just hoping that this isn't something where it's like Felissa Rose is a slasher again, because she's had a lot of those movies that she's done where she's the red herring, but it turns out to really be her. But this looks pretty damn amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. And as I mentioned, like if you want to go and support the film, they're having like a 30% off sale on their Indiegogo campaigns right now. So you can go out there, you can get the movie and stuff like that before it never gets released. There's a lot of
What's
cool
their
things.
goal? What's their goal? Because I didn't get to look fully at the Indiegogo.
Let's see here. They were $34,000 by 150 backers. I don't know if there is a goal here for it.
It doesn't look like they put it on there.
Yep. Now, the one thing that I found interesting here, and I'll show you guys in a second. Let's get down to this. Is there is a associates producer thing on here? Not a bad price. It's like $350 for an associate producer credit, but it comes with the Blu-ray. It comes with a hoodie, and it comes with a hat too. So I was like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting. If you wanted to get like an associate's credit out there on horror films, and if you're looking to get into the genre, there it is right there. So it's like, that sounds pretty tempting.
What's their top tier? The EP one. That's typically their top tier.
Executive is 1,000.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, it was 1,500. Let's see what it comes with. It comes with let's see. I'm gonna look off camera here, but you get a producer credit, you get a premiere VIP access, live look on set, which probably doesn't count anymore because they're done filming. Blu-ray, hoodie or T-shirt, beanie or ball cap, and full-size theatrical poster.
What else? What's past that? It looks like they got more tiers after that.
Let's see. You got Choose Your Own Death, Carved in Carnage, sold out. Limited edition DVD, limited edition Blu-ray, photo in the film. Oh, these are just now we're gonna go into lower tiers.
Yeah. I don't know. I might jump on there just to support Felissa, man.
It's Felissa. It's Lisa Wilcox from Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a pretty good cast with the two of them in there. I've heard about this being talked about even before they started filming it, and I'm surprised it didn't come across us for the channel and stuff like that. But yeah, this seems pretty interesting. You're like $350.
She told me about it.
Yeah.
She told me about it back in January when she was here. So yeah, I'm gonna hop on that.
Yeah. The $500 for a co-producer, all they throw in extra is the full-size poster. So I was thinking it's like maybe $350 I throw in there for an associate producer credit. But it looks like it's going to be a decent film. And guys, Paul Wiley is doing the soundtrack.
Oh, sick.
So Paul Wiley, for people that don't know, keep track of that stuff. Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3, he does the score for those films. And
he was also the guitarist for Marilyn Manson. So.
Yeah,
Interesting.
If he's doing the score for this film, it must have some good potential because I'm tying him to those other films the way those look. So I'm very interested in seeing this one here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Before we jump into our last story, while Danny is still looking for some Friday the 13th one, let's take a look here.
No, you're good. You're right about the shrine thing. I said you're right already for the second one, but I swore there was one thing that said that he died. I could swear, unless I'm fucking.
No, they do say he died,
Yeah.
but the filmmakers came back and said no. Jason was meant he survived.
Oh my god!
And that's why they put it in the remake where Jason witnessed Pamela getting decapitated because he.
No, that's bullshit. Boo.
Well, that was from what Ginny was saying. I don't know if that necessarily makes it true, or if it's like a camp tale like they make in camp stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was alive. I think that
I don't think so either.
He's a deadite, man. He's a deadite. Telling you.
Like I said, I could have swore. I could be wrong though. So.
I think the novel adaptation said too that he also survived. I can't remember. I gotta go back.
Boo.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Scream 7, we got Michael Joe make Michael Myers a zombie. Well, you seen some of his
No.
He's pretty.
Don't make him a zombie, dude. Zombie Myers, bro?
I would just try to play more into like the cult of evil and like him being the embodiment of evil and stuff like that. I don't know. Do something.
I wouldn't. Nah, man. What I would have done with Michael, to be honest, like I said, is that when they said that he was the embodiment of evil, is just if they would have went with the anthology, like how they went with Halloween 3 and whatnot, and that it was all a part of this ritual, remember, with the Stonehenge and all this other jazz about spirits coming out in Halloween, then it totally makes sense that he's possessed by something and it just lives in him, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's why he's the embodiment of evil. I mean, I would have went that route. I mean, I already pitched my idea before of how I would have done it myself for Halloween Ends, but whatever.
It's funny you said that because the actual 1980, well, when did it come out? 80, 81? The novel of the 78 film? Yeah, it was 81 because I got 2 copies of it. That's actually what the author did in the novel.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. That's what happened to Michael, that he got possessed because it was like dealing with the occult and the cult of Thorn and everything like that. And it was just like a one-off,
Well,
instance.
the novelization of Kills, the Cult of Thorn is in the novelization.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I hadn't read the novelization.
Yeah. Tommy has the tattoo on his wrist in the book. So
I know some fans came out with this story, and I don't know, man, if I want it to be true or not, but I thought it was dope. To me personally, don't kill the messenger, but I thought it was dope personally. That said, the mask that Michael was wearing had the shamrock on it, and that's why he was killing people. Yeah,
I always love that theory. Yeah,
dude, I'm just saying, man, like it would make more sense than anything of that happening. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was a cool thing. Again, is it corny and stuff? Yes, it is. But I mean, to tie the entire story together, it's not a bad idea. You know what I mean?
I love Season of the Witch. Season of the Witch is one of my favorite of the franchise.
Yeah, well, I told you, me and you loved it. Yeah, I loved Halloween 3.
Yeah. So we've actually hit on 2 theories that I've had on the channel, and one of them is Silver Shamrock made Michael Myers a killer. Yep,
that would have been incredible.
Yep, it all makes sense. It's all there. All the clues are there.
See what Michael Joe said. I'm with you.
What did he say? Let me come back over to that.
He said keep Jamie Lee Curtis away from Halloween.
Oh my God!
Thank God. Yes.
Yeah,
I think where they messed up, to be honest, was keeping Jamie Lee as the final girl, right? When they should have it should have been more around Michael than her. Just period. It should have just been around him. But again, if they really wanted to do it the way John Carpenter wanted to do it, it should have been an anthology, a one-off story. And if you brought him back in another anthology series, kind of like we were talking about Trick or Treat, right? If you brought him back in another anthology series and it's a different story, but it's Michael Myers, right? Awesome. Because then he's still the boogeyman. You still don't know what the fuck he is. He just shows up. Incredible. But
I forgot what the book said, Nerdy Kitty. Because the book says something like somebody in his family was part of the cult.
Yeah,
Mrs. Mrs. If you remember the old lady from Part 6, Mrs. Blankenship, I think was her name or something like that.
So, yep.
Yeah,
was
she brought it
friends
up.
with the family. Yeah, she was like friends with the
snitch.
family or something, and was over all of that. But that was the book. They didn't do that in the movie, but that was the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think part of the reasons why H2O and this latest trilogy is so bad is because of Jamie Lee Curtis. Because if you go back and you listen to the interviews from Part 4, one of the things that brought her back into it is like, if I come back, I have to be the person that ends Michael Myers. That was what she agreed to do. Is that she came in to end Michael Myers in that film. And H2O, and then because they had all the trouble behind the scenes, she's like, "I'm just doing it for a paycheck at this point." So for her, when I heard the announcement of her coming back for this trilogy, it's the same thing, and we saw it play out. It was to end Michael Myers. It always had to be by her hand, and that's something that she's always wanted, and it spoiled the movie.
Yeah, but Dave, I already pitched you. I don't want to like say it out loud, but I already pitched you how that could have worked. And it makes sense how I told you it would have done it, right? But she could have done it, still end up dying, right? Have them both off, and now the evil cycle just happens all over again.
Yeah.
She should have died in Halloween. Ends. Like Michael, that should have been the last hoorah where Michael pulled her into the grinder with.
Yeah, either that or when she was stabbing the shit out of him, right? And then he was dead, right? It should have been a stab fest between the both of them. Like one can't live without the other.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, that's what they did originally for the ending of the Halloween 2018, but it didn't test well with the audience. They had a stabathon in the woods, and it ended with like both of them going off and bleeding to death, and you hear Michael breathing in the credits, so you don't know which one of them died. But they didn't go that route. They should have, but they didn't.
They should have. Oh, it didn't test audience well. You're talking about the audience that are not really fans of the fucking. Get out of here. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
All right, so we'll let Nerdy Kitty kind of nope, that's not what I want to see. We'll let her kind of bring us over to our next topic. So she's talking about Randy being her favorite character in the franchise. I think mine's Kirby, right behind
his
Sydney.
His niece and nephew should have been the killers, bro. Should have been.
Yep. So the latest news out there right now is that so oh my God, David Arquette has recently come out and said, "Hey, it wasn't supposed to be revealed that I was coming back to the movie. So what the hell does that mean?" He wanted it to be a surprise, but what does that mean?
So Dewey didn't die. So Dewey didn't die in the hospital. We're gonna get a scene in the hospital that he actually survived, and now Dewey's back
with his guts, with his intestines.
I know. Is he a good guy, or is he now fucking a ghost face because of everything?
Well, so that's one of the reasons why I showed Nerdy Kitty's comment. Did he create a video? And yeah, he created a video. Sid, I figured it out. You made it. If you're seeing this, I'm dead. Like, are we getting that Scream 3 piece back into this, where it's Dewey now speaking from beyond the grave?
Probably, dude. Because again, if we're really looking at it, I told you, and this is why I have a problem with it. Scream 5, Scream 1, Scream 6. Even though they did it terribly, it is Scream 2. Now again, Scream 3. Who's related to Sydney now? Like, is it going to be her mom that's the killer? You know what I mean? Like, who is related to Sydney? Because if we're going to follow what 1, 2, and 3 did, who's related to Sydney? Long lost, another long lost brother, a long lost sister. Like, what is happening, bro?
Her dad finally snapped.
Her dad fucking comes back, and all of a sudden he's the killer. Like, I don't understand.
I didn't actually die in 4.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just sick of you and your bullshit.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know why. I don't know why this was a hidden spoiler, because Courtney Cox has been pitching to get him back ever since she came attached to this again. It's like, oh, we got to bring him back. We got to bring him back. So now he's back, and now he's saying it's supposed to be a surprise. So I'm thinking it's possibly a video, because he talks in this article, in the interview, about his special relationship with the fans. and the connection with the fan base. So I can't see him being a Ghostface. I can see him not being a CGI entity in the film. It's probably going to be him recording something before he dies, and then Sydney gets the video.
Is it Sydney or is it like his love letter to Gail? Since that's what the fans love.
That's
Right?
a good one. That's a good
It
one.
could have
right
been
there.
his love letter to Gail, and Gail sees it. She starts crying, all this other fucking bullshit. Goes on a rampage. All of a sudden, we finally get Gail dead from Ghostface. There we go. Spoiled the whole movie for you fucking guys.
Yep.
So
that's how you close out her arc, though. That's how you close out the arc. She gets that
Her
video,
arc was
and then that
closed
closes it
many
out.
movies ago.
dude, you know what should happen, and it would be brutal, and it would be really messed up. Is while she's watching it, she's dying, like brutally.
Oh,
like she's
the Ghostface plays the tape.
That would be messed up.
Ghostface is playing the tape and just murking her. Oh, that'd be gut wrenching, but it feels so good at the same time.
Imagine him just like stabbing her as many times as they did Dewey while she's watching. Like, that would be brutal. Man. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's where I think that's gonna sit with is that it's a little clip. And it makes sense now with hearing you guys talk. Is like, it's probably to Gail. Though,
because that's what the fan loved. The fans loved them two together.
Yep.
Me personally, man, and I said this before, I think personally with Melissa and Jenna gone, unless they secretly bring them back for part 7, this should be the last film, and then I think they should bring the series back.
No, that series, I didn't like the series, dude.
I love the series.
I saw it a little bit.
Seasons. At least the first
a little bit, and I was like, and I turned it off. But like, honestly, though, man, I think
the series was awesome.
Boo. No, what they need to do, man, is just get away from this fucking town, these same characters, and fucking venture off, bro.
Yeah.
Again, it's the same thing. We just said it. They're going through what Halloween went through. You're still doing the same thing. Let it venture out. It would be awesome to have a Michael Myers with somebody else.
Well, that's what the series did. It was like a totally new town, new characters.
I hear you, but I didn't like the series in that sense of like what was going on with the actors and stories. It didn't catch me, right? But to your point, yes, that still can work. Even the Cult of Ghostface thing could still work. Again, we got a taste of it in the beginning of Scream 6. Why not capitalize on it, right? Well, again, we got a taste in Scream 5 when me and Amber met on the Reddit forum. Come on, dude. Like, there's so much potential. Like, we got to stop this. You know what I mean? You got to just stop that little thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. It could be a follower of Stu. Definitely.
That could work.
Yep.
There's this new cardboard cutout mask.
That's where the money is. That's where the money is. Like Danny's saying, the money is in the cult right now. You established it. Just follow it now. And
like it's not even hard to understand. Like you watch the movies, it's been building since the beginning of this franchise. The idea of a cult, people getting so invested in the movies that they do, like the stab movies that take place outside of what actually happened to Sydney and her family. It's like, oh, well, because we've seen this where fans get too invested into films and they start blending reality into movies. They've been building it since 1996, and they just like, no, we don't think it'll work. We think we'll try something else. Stop thinking. Stop. Just listen, for fuck's sake.
Yep. I would watch a Kirby film with her going after the cult. I would watch a film where we're following Chad and Mindy in their own story. Like you have the characters that are strong enough to stand on their own and carry.
I'd watch a film without Gail.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, Dave, I don't know if Noah and Danny have seen it, but Dave and I saw it. But Mason Gooding could very much carry his own film, you know, as Chad, because he did a great job.
Hard Eyes is amazing.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, Hard Eyes is my #1 film for the year so far. Nothing has come close to beating that out.
I say #2 because Sinners for me, man. Sinners
was amazing. Such a beautiful story.
Yeah. I have my reservations when it comes to some of the darker scenes and not getting the antagonist. You give me that.
I don't know, it wasn't dark for us on IMAX screen.
Yeah.
Except
Maybe.
except for those intentional scenes that I told you where they hid the vampires, just so you can see that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of. Everything else, I didn't even have IMAX. I didn't have the issues you have. Maybe you gotta get your eyes checked.
Oh boy. But yeah, so Hard Eyes is number one for me because it hits on everything. It's got the comedy, it's got
Hard Eyes
the
was
gore.
such a fun film.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun film. That was a breath
Yeah.
of fresh air right there.
Yeah. So other than that, so any I'll before we close up, any films that you're looking forward to this year that are coming out?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's coming out this year, but they did make the announcement. Ready or Not sequel, Here I Come, is coming.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I'm
I forgot
excited
about
about
that,
that
yeah.
one, man. I'm definitely excited for that one. Anything with Samara Weaving, man. Dude, she knocks it out the park.
Yeah, the cast for that one. Let's see. The cast is they had a nice little layout for it. Let me see if I can find that real quick. But I don't know where they can go with that one.
I don't. That's why I'm curious about it. Like, what they gonna do?
They left the ending open, I guess, in the second one, but I don't know like what what questions are left to like really answer that I can.
Like,
really
I'm wondering,
thinking about.
Like, I'm wondering, does she meet a new boyfriend? They get engaged, and she's the one that brings the games to that person's family or something. Like I don't know.
I know
Because her and the dude or the devil or whatever he was, the rich guy. He gave his approval to her. You know what I mean? So I don't know where they'll go with it.
Yeah, so you got Catherine Newton from Freaky and Lisa Frankenstein in it. Elijah Wood. You got Sarah Michelle Gellar returning to that film. David Cronenberg is in it, and then you got Nestor Carbondale or Dell from the Bates Motel TV show. He was the cop on it. But let me see. Is there a release date for this? I don't think it's next year.
I think it's next year.
Probably.
Unless they drop it like later this year, you know.
For me, I'm looking into I don't know, Superman I'm kind of like iffy about, but the whole 28 years later, like Five Nights of Freddy Part 2. Yeah. Like I am excited about those. Everything else on this list I'm probably not, because they're doing another Conjuring allegedly, another Insidious allegedly, the new Avatar and all this other jazz. I'm like, I don't know. They got Saw that's in limbo. I don't know, dude.
Thanksgiving
and Final Destination, the new Final Destination.
Yep.
Thanksgiving 2 is coming out later this year too, right?
Is it really?
Yeah.
What they need to do is come out with Trick or Treat 2 finally, instead of keep postponing that shit, dude. Good Lord.
Yeah. So I think probably the best horror films that are going to come out this year is that Final Destination one. And what was the other one that you mentioned, Danny?
28 years later, and then Five Nights at Freddy 2.
Yeah, 28 years later, I think is going to be probably the number one for the year.
Yeah. You think so? I hope so.
You know what? And maybe it's just me, but every time I see the trailer and I hear that song playing in the background as it's going through that trailer,
the poem.
Oh, that just gets me so hyped for that film.
They use that for, what was it? They used it for torturing soldiers.
Really?
Shit.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah,
because I was a really big fan of the first one. Oh, gotcha. I was a really big fan of the first one.
I love both movies, and then I'm a fan of the comics too.
Yeah. Michael Joe, I don't know, man. I'm with you on that one. I'm leaning towards with you after seeing the trailer and after seeing the scene of Superman.
Suit, man. I hate the suit.
It's not even that. He looks like a Kirkland brand Henry Cavill. He looks like a Kirkland brand Henry Cavill. You should have got someone looking totally different, bro. And he looks like a Kirkland brand Henry Cavill. And then not only that, the suit looks cheesy. And then the one scene you end up releasing is Superman all beaten, bruised, and bloody. I did love that Crypto was, a dog actually and messing with him. You know what I mean? But the sun regenerating him and making him scream in pain, I get it. People are like, oh, well, his bones and everything are resetting. Yeah, sure. I get it. But at the same time, Superman doesn't do that.
See, my argument for that, I got into a heated discussion. I usually don't do this on social media or Facebook. But I told him, I said, look, okay, I get that these are they amplified the sun's rays and stuff. I get that. But I was like, if you go back and watch Batman vs. Superman, they nuked him. The man was dead or close to death. He was skin and bones, and the sun resurrected him. Direct sunlight.
Yep.
No pain, no screaming.
No, nothing. And then even in the comics is like that.
Nuked him.
Superman doesn't react to pain that way. Superman just doesn't react to pain that way. Even if he was in pain.
Unless it's kryptonite. That's it.
Yeah, but
that thing's like
that's my point.
That's like the number, like the main weakness of Kryptonian. So it's like the thing that heals you is like if I'm drinking a health potion in a video game, I'm not like
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Oh my god, dude! Noah, we got to create that game now. We have to.
That would be so. That would be.
You have to create that game. Fucking drinking. Oh shit! Fuck! This is all of a sudden just your character starts rolling. Character starts rolling on the ground. Son of a bitch!
Oh, hey, I'm okay.
Superman's kryptonite is Fantastic Four comes out 2 weeks after it.
Superman's kryptonite is anything.
Oh no, Fantastic Four is gonna be shit as well, dude.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it looks terrible, bro. It looks terrible. You got someone that's trying to be Chris Evans when Chris Evans Human Torch, which doesn't work. The Thing looks terrible, you know, and I get it. It's in a different universe and whatnot. I am not for it. And then
I'm just excited.
I know. Listen, I know there's two different Silver Surfers. You know, I get it, but why do we have to bring her? And then plus, the CGI for her Silver Surfer looks worse than the original one that we got.
Now that I will.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't give
I'm
a shit
telling you.
about Silver Surfer, but
no, Fantastic Four is gonna be trash.
So shit for the Silver Surfer. Like maybe like it's just initial test footage that they use. I don't know, whatever. But like it doesn't look good. Galactus,
dude, the
like the back of his head, that looked good, I guess.
Well, you know. It looks like
we actually get a freaking Galactus instead of a freaking cloud ball eating planets. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. They did miniatures, I think, with Galactus. I think it's a guy in a suit, and they did a miniature city where he's walking through it like Godzilla style.
See, that's funny. That I like. I don't know. I'm curious to see more like in scale of like how the special effects are gonna look, because I for one don't think that we've gotten like Reed Richards as like a stretchy man. We haven't gotten like a stretchy man that's like, oh, that looks like super realistic, and I see that making sense. I want to see like that.
I mean, it looked good in Mom. Multiverse of Madness.
Oh.
I'm trying
yes. Scarlet Witch. It literally spells mom. It's Scarlet Witch Mom, which is hilarious.
I don't know why, but I was thinking of like that.
I'm trying to think. No, I'm trying to think of how good it did look.
It looked better. Like it didn't look amazing, but it definitely looked the best that we've seen of Reed Richards, and it lasted for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and now so that's the thing, right? That was 2 seconds. Now we got to compare that to like a 2-hour
full
movie.
Yeah.
So I want to see that. I want to see how Galactus is gonna look. Someone said we're getting Doom. If we're getting Doom, like in the first fucking movie, and then
I don't think
we know Robert Downey Jr. is gonna show his goddamn face because that's the moneymaker.
It's gonna probably happen. This is probably what's gonna happen because they've been teasing Fantastic Four even in Deadpool when they had the Fantastic Four hover, right? Hovercraft. Yeah. The deal is that I can see Doom transferring them at the end, like a post-credit scene or at the end of the movie, and all of a sudden this is the whole battle royale of all the different universes coming together. Yeah. So I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't know, man. Again, with the CGI, it looks like absolute dog shit, and this is the first time we're seeing a real version of Galactus. It's the CGI should be at least decent, like what God damn it, the Celestial in Eternals.
Oh my God! Don't bring me back to that.
No, trust me. But what I'm saying is, at least the Celestial looked kind of good, right? Or even when you did the preview, when they were explaining the Collector, when he was explaining the Celestials in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, they look pretty damn cool, right? If Galactus looks all right like that, sure. But I mean, again, the Silver Surfer looks like trash. The Thing looks like trash. I don't know, man. I'm not. It's just Disney, bro. It's just Disney.
Yeah. So CG throws out there. This is the guy from WandaVision. Man, how long ago? how long ago does WandaVision feel? Right? Like the whole entire
it is
world
forever ago.
Yeah,
it is forever ago.
Different. The whole world was different.
WandaVision was okay until they just kept going. You know what I mean? It was just like it was great concept, and then all of a sudden we're just gonna let this crazy bitch go free. And yeah, oh my gosh, she's a grieving mother. That's why. Oh my god, get out of here. She enslaved the town. She enslaved the town and tortured them.
More if they were gonna make her the villain in Multiverse of Madness. That's my gripe with it, because it had such a great. You're right. It had such a great concept, and it's like, oh, she gets her redeeming quality. It was actually Agatha all along. Shut the fuck up. It was clearly not Agatha. She even said that she wasn't in control overall of like what she was doing. Like she was the main power behind what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that she's like, oh, I just wanted a family. Okay, that's fine, but you can still make it more psychotic than, oh, she's a troubled person. No, she turned somebody into string cheese
I'm just grateful.
Like, she came back from WandaVision as what we assumed was an anti-hero, and then she mutilates an entire force, like an Avengers level like team for another multiverse. Like that is insane. So,
and then yet you nerf her. Hold on, and then yet you nerf her.
Yeah, they did nerf her
a lot. Yeah. And then also, if we're going, I'm going to be that guy. Actually, right? In the comic, she's a Nexus. She's a Nexus point. There's no other Scarlet Witches in the multiverse. And in Mom, there was another Scarlet Witch in the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Nexus being. There is no more Scarlet Witches, right? They had someone similar to her in the comic, right? That is supposed to be like her equivalent of a Nexus being, right? But there is no other Scarlet Witches in the multiverse. That's why she's so strong. Yeah, that's why it's dumb shit.
Stories of the Scarlet Witch in the comic book nowadays?
No, well, probably nowadays, but no, she's a Nexus being. So when they talked about Nexus points in Loki, right, about how things are like supposed to be permanent and they can't be erased and all this other dumb shit, she's a Nexus being, meaning there's only one of her in the multiverse, and that right there just ruined it for me. And then you nerf her a lot too. Is just like, ugh, come on, dude.
I'm just glad we never got that dynamic of her and Pietro. Thank God.
The brother sister. Love.
Yeah, that. Oh God, I hated that storyline so much, man.
Bonus DLC.
Yeah, no, that shouldn't have happened in the get go. But no, I agree with Nerdy Kitty. Wolverine, yeah, they should make a Wolverine. But allegedly, there's a rumor that Wolverine versus Hulk is actually coming out.
Mm-hmm. So I've heard that too.
Yeah,
and I hope, because it's a multiverse, I hope they bring Ed Norton back instead of having fucking this guy,
Thank you,
and his actual Hulk model against.
I don't know why people hated the 2008 film. I love the 2008.
Dude, no, that's my dude. Film, honestly, that was my favorite for the longest time, and especially that it was more comic book accurate. And then the second one is that he spoke. I get chills to this day. He barely, his first line was "Leave me alone," right? Yep. In the movie, doesn't speak through the entire movie. Then any last words? Hulk. Smash! I'm like, oh my god, dude! It's still, I got goosebumps already. I got chills. It's just like
perfect. Bro. I remember the theater erupting when he said, because you hear it so low and it's so guttural. He's like, "Leave me alone."
Yeah, leave me alone.
The whole theater just went bananas.
Here's my thinking with that, right? Yeah, sure. The Hulk of that movie was fantastic. The story was great. Edward Norton doesn't make that Hulk fantastic, though. Edward Norton is
he did. He was way better than Mark Ruffalo.
Dude, they wanted Noah. They said that he was so difficult to work with because he's such a passionate at what he does that he studied the comics and said, no, this is what needs to be done. And he got into fights with the studio and the directors and everybody. They said that he was so difficult to work with, but this is what someone that actually cares about the source material. That's like Henry Cavill in The Witcher, bro.
Multiple sets of
Henry Cavill in The Witcher, same thing. Henry Cavill, maybe you hear nothing but great stories about Henry Cavill, of how nice of a dude he is inside of work and outside of work. And he fucking fought the studios on The Witcher and was like, "That's it, I'm out, I'm walking."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm not saying Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk, but I'm not saying.
No way.
I'm not saying
Eric Bana was better than Ruffalo.
Edward Norton doesn't need to come back to make a good Hulk. if we want to see Hulk versus Wolverine, we're not going to see Edward Norton on the screen fighting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or whoever else dresses up.
No, it should be Henry Cavill's Wolverine versus Edward Norton's Hulk, dude.
Mhm.
It should be the cavalry
whatever
versus the
CGI
Hulk.
Hulk they do versus whatever Wolverine they do. I don't think Edward Norton needs to be held up on the pedestal that he is on. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Dude, he is the best out of the 3 live action. He's the best one. I would argue Eric Bana.
Well, let's just get a new one.
I would argue Eric Bana is a great second.
Okay.
No,
let's pick a Reed Richards out of the ones that they've given us so far.
This guy right here. This guy right here.
Dude, we gotta bring back Lou Ferrigno, brother. Bring back Lou.
Get the
Bring
green
back
out.
Lou.
Oh, I love when Lou popped up in the 2008 film. That was a great scene.
Oh yeah, dude, wasn't that incredible? Allegedly, again, I could be wrong, but allegedly that he actually did the Hulk's voice, the Hulk smash and all that jazz.
No, that was him.
In the 2008, and it's Lou fucking Ferrigno, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, brother.
In the 2008
Let's
film
go.
are
Bring it back.
phenomenal. Edward Norton being in that film does not make it
Dude,
that much better. For
He
me.
was great.
He's an incredible actor, bro. You kidding me? Dude, if they brought him back for the MCU, it would have been a totally different vibe. And I guarantee you, he would never let the Hulk get his ass whooped like that against Thanos, because it would have been a fucking brawl, because Thanos didn't beat Hulk in the comics until he got the gauntlet.
Fighting a CGI alien. That's
Dude,
not even the same thing.
Dude, it would have been incredible.
This guy's so much better. His Hulk would have done. It's the same Hulk. It's the same Hulk and the same storyline.
It's not, though, because in Eric Bana's Hulk and also Edward Norton's Hulk showed how he heals, how he gets stronger when he's angrier, all this other jazz. And then when it came to fucking this guy,
Edward Norton's Hulk is Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. They changed the actor because he was difficult to work with. That's why they changed the actor.
It's not the same, dude.
That's
like saying Tom Holland. Listen, that's like saying Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the Avengers is the same in his own fucking movies when it's not. Dude, they made it. The Russo brothers. I'm talking about as in like his character, his persona. The one in the Avengers movies, the Russo brothers got it right of how he's fucking awkward and also how he talks shit while he's fighting and he's super strong the whole 9. And then the first movie drops by himself, solo movie, and he's a wuss. He's not even strong. He's crying all the time.
That's a failure on Disney's part that has nothing to do with.
And the director too, bro. If I was the director, I'd be like, absolutely not. We're changing this.
That doesn't make Edward Norton's Hulk stronger. That just makes that movie had a better Hulk.
Hold on.
But it's the same Hulk.
This is what happened.
It is.
Trash.
No. I get what you're saying. So this is what happened. Story-wise, yes, Ruffalo's and Norton's canonically are the same Hulk. But because of the whole behind the scenes issues, not with just Norton, but Universal holding the rights and not wanting to play well with Marvel and Disney, they nerfed him. So technically he is story-wise, yes, it's supposed to be the same Hulk as far as like the canon. But as far as the abilities and stuff, they nerfed him so much. It's a totally different Hulk.
Exactly. And it's the same. That's why I brought up Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the Avengers is Spider-Man. He was fucking strong as shit. Caught Bucky's arm. Caught the fucking thing, and then all of a sudden he can't lift rocks off him in the fucking first movie.
Marvel and Disney didn't have the right.
And this is why
the way they're supposed to.
And this is why Sony came in with the partnership and cleaned it up in No Way Home. This is why they made him how he's supposed to be. They get the great with great power comes great responsibility. Even though it's not from Uncle Ben, doesn't matter. Still have the same effect. Then they gave him his classic costume in the end. It's just like that's how he was supposed to be. It's just like there's so many inconsistencies with the character. It's not even funny. And it's not just those characters. It's a lot of characters in Marvel right now.
And physical strength Hulk. So physical strength, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is stronger because he killed a giant Leviathan alien, and Edward Norton's Hulk at first struggled to throw a tank. Yes, he did. He struggled to get a tank off the ground, and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk killed the Leviathan in one punch. So if you want to get technical, yes, Hulk's stronger. Yes, because he also kept up with Thanos and didn't die right away. So and he also struggled to get the Abomination. I'm sorry,
brother. So first off,
you muted yourself.
Let's get that straight. Let's get that straight. The Abomination is supposed to be on the same strength as the Hulk, and especially when the Hulk is the first starting out. Okay, so let's get that fucking out of the way. Number two, when it comes to the whole tank thing, it wasn't that he was struggling, is that he picked it up, fucking threw it down, and then you see the pressure of the sonic fucking boom waves that he is crawling through, which fucking makes your ears and your brains bleed.
I'm talking about a standard tank. They showed it in the first Avengers film when he's trying to pick it up off the ground and he drops it initially. So if you want to get technical, he struggled a lot more in that movie than he did in his first appearance in Avengers. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't have to do with the Hulk. It's the MCU chronological. They're the same Hulk. You want to talk about nerfing stuff? That's
again.
Fine,
we're not arguing about chronological, Noah. You're not hearing us.
But
they nerfed the fuck. There's inconsistent. Are you fucking joking? The longer he fought the Abomination. And then he came and whooped the. It was not even a fucking battle at the end where he got angry that he was about to kill Betty. He destroyed the Abomination. He fucking broke a bone off the Abomination, stabbed him. The whole
Hulk is
nine.
known to not be able to beat Thanos. He's even mentioned it. Thanos doesn't like fighting the Hulk, but he can't. He's not stronger than him. Hulk does not beat Thanos.
We're not talking about just beating Thanos. Again, it wouldn't have been one-sided like that because in the comics, it took Thanos to have the Infinity Gauntlet to beat the Hulk.
Yeah.
And then also, if you go continuity-wise, when he gets older and World War Hulk and all that stuff, when the gamma rays go, he almost destroys the fucking Earth when him and Sentry start fighting. And it didn't. All it took when he finally went back to Bruce Banner and the Hulk went to come out again and was about to destroy the Earth, he asked Tony to do something, and Tony had an ion cannon because fucking Tony Stark is the Batman of the fucking Marvel universe. He had an ion cannon that blasted Bruce Banner, by the way, not the Hulk before Hulk came out. Bruce Banner, so he can knock him out, and that's when he took a sample of his blood, and that's when Red Hulk came. So don't fuck with me with comics, bro.
Every single character in the MCU is nerfed. That is known. But
dude,
the ending was one-sided, but Hulk had his licks in. I don't know. This is crazy. Edward Norton's Hulk is not having a even fight with Thanos in the MCU. It doesn't work.
It wouldn't have been one-sided like that is my point. If they kept with the powers of Eric Bana or even Edward Norton, it would have been a better fight. Would he still have lost? Sure. But it would have been a way better fight than a one-sided fight that made him Hold on, that made him a bitch boy that he did not want to come out through the entire fucking rest of the movies.
Yeah.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
What are you doing?
That movie had such stupid premises. You're still talking about the fact that you said Edward Norton's Hulk would be able to keep up with Thanos in a fight and still lose. That is not true. That is so not true.
Dude, you need to go start reading Hulk comics, bro, before you start coming at me. Go read Hulk comics before you start coming at me, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Even go watch the whole show.
Go watch it, bro. Go watch it. Listen, I don't want to hear another thing until you read some comics, bro. I don't want to hear anything, bro.
Level. Thanos was nerfed too. They were all nerfed. It doesn't mean that the fight wouldn't have been one-sided.
It would not have been. It would not have been. Listen, so do you know why Thanos is so strong, by the way?
Thanos was not any good without the gauntlet.
No, Marcus, he was. No, hold on. Yes, he was a simp
for death.
He was a simp for death. But why is Thanos so strong? Does anyone know here besides me? Because I actually read some comics. Come on. Why is he so strong?
I would just like for you to explain. I'm
what,
excited.
the Titans?
I mean,
their race was just strong, period, though, wasn't it?
No, he's a fucking deviant. That's why. Because you have Celestials, and the opposite of a Celestial is a fucking deviant, and then you have all your gods, too. So when you have the ranking of orders of powers, right? You have your gods, and then you have your Celestials, and then your deviants as well. And that's what the whole Eternals thing was trying to do, okay? And so he is the opposite of a fucking Celestial. He's a deviant. That's why he's so strong. But what I'm trying to tell you, Noah, is that the longer the Hulk fights and the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. Hence why, yes, would he have still have lost? Would he have still decided that he would have been like, I don't want to come out and fight.
saying that like if you get a boost of adrenaline, someone that's better than you in a fight isn't gonna overpower you and still beat you.
Dude, it's the same thing.
Thanos was a better fighter. He punched it in the throat and
oh my god.
Noah, he was a better
All righty.
Noah, read fucking comics before you come at me, bro. Read comics, bro.
You were talking about logic
All right,
now.
zip it. You can't even zip it. Zip. I can't. When a problem comes along, you must zip it. Zip it good.
All right, let's talk about Spider-Man to close this out. So we got
Puerto Rican Spider-Man.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't Pedro Parker though. Disney would have made him Pedro Parker. I'm glad that we got a Miles Morales, that he is Spider-Man. He has the title, a different Spidey.
Man,
half black, half Puerto Rican, from Brooklyn. Love it.
I will say this. I would love, I don't know who's played the Marvel games on PlayStation and stuff, but I wish the MCU and Disney would take notes from those two games because the stories in those are so good. Like they freaking turned Venom into a horror movie.
Yes,
like,
and it incredible.
It was so great. It was incredible. And
I just don't like the fact that they made what's his breath? Harry. Into Venom.
Yeah. I get why they did it, but yeah, I wish it was Eddie too. But at the same time, though, I love how they're setting up Carnage, for the next game. But the one thing that I am happy about that Tom Holland is really fighting hard to get Miles introduced into the next film.
Yeah, because he wants out. No, he wants out. Holland wants out.
Yeah, but they already did though. They did it in Spider-Man: Homecoming when Donald Glover was the Prowler. When he's like, "Hey man, I have a nephew in this neighborhood." That was a hint to Miles Morales. But at the same time though, is that can we bring Miles? Absolutely, fucking awesome, right? But I would love a Spider-Verse live action, and not even that story because there's so many Spider-Verse stories. I would love at least one of them. Maybe do a Madam Web movie that's really Madam Web, and she brings all the Spideys together, like how she did in the freaking cartoon in the comics.
I want an Agent Venom.
Well, we're getting the Spider-Man Noir TV series.
I know, and Nick Cage is. I love the fact that they got him. He's the voice actor, and they got him to play fucking Spider-Man Noir. Dude, I'm all about it, bro. I'm all about it.
I want Agent Venom, man. If they bring with Flash,
Agent Venom would be pretty dope.
They did an Agent Venom, yeah. Good news, they renewed your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man for 3 seasons. So
really, how is that though? I've heard mixed things.
It's surprisingly good. Yeah, it's surprisingly good. Like
what we need is Tom Hardy's Venom to have a real Venom movie. Hold on, to have a real Venom movie and fight actually Spider-Man. Let's make this happen. We've been talking about Andrew Garfield and Tom Hardy all this time. They even hinted Tom Holland and Tom Hardy. What are we doing?
Well, you know what? Tom just came out. Hardy, not Holland. Hardy just came out like a week ago. Because somebody brought up the question, like, "Hey, will it ever happen between you and Tom Holland?" And he was like, "They actually worked on it, and he wanted it to. They just couldn't make it happen for whatever reason."
Jesus Christ, bro!
They just couldn't do it for whatever reason.
First, I was trying. Movie had its laughs, but I didn't like it, and I didn't even see the third movie. I don't think Tom Hardy's.
They butchered the second one.
We've gotten a successful Venom iteration, live action iteration between the two. I like. We keep taking such an amazing fucking character, and we're like, we'll just do whatever we want because it's a slimy little fun guy. Stop making it funny. He's not funny.
Yep, and I agree with you, Noah, on that. At least on that part, because dude, the design of him was incredible, just like the comics with the creepy fucking smile, huge, right? All this jazz, awesome. But then you make
I miss the spider. I will say I miss the spider.
No, of course I miss the spider too. But then you make Eddie Brock like a washed up reporter. That wasn't what happened. You know what I mean? He was a bodybuilder and a reporter, right? And all this jazz. And then they had that whole little tension between him and Parker before even. Venom going on to Eddie and all this jazz. Like, we just need a real accurate version of this. And listen, they can do Tom Hardy still being a serious one if they do a multiverse, right? Like, hey, look, this is a variant of Eddie Brock. Have Tom Hardy get jacked again, like how he did with Bane. You know what I mean? And actually be Eddie Brock, and then get him. I want the flat top. I want the flat top, fucking the flat top blonde hair.
Get my boy. If they couldn't get Tom Hardy, get my boy Alan Richardson. Alan Richardson would be the perfect.
If we're gonna bring Venom in against Spider-Man, I don't like the story that they made for Venom. I don't.
CG's right.
Like if
CG's right. Let's stop making the villains good guys.
Yes.
Yeah, right. You're making a disembodied character once again the comic relief, and Venom is he's like, oh fuck no, and then like disappears when Carnage comes out. That's not like that's like I can't believe like
it was funny, but yeah, no,
stupid
it's
things
not
from
him.
The comics about Venom. Bring in that his Achilles heel literally is chocolate. Like just bring that shit in. Like, and when I say Achilles, I'm pretty sure like they mentioned that his Achilles heel regenerates as chocolate at one point, so he didn't eat brains as often or some shit. I could be making, but I'm pretty sure that was true. Bring in that stupid shit. But like they're ruining this character. He's terrifying. He is terrifying, and that's when they introduce Matt Carnage and make the Maximum like on the Maximum Carnage storylines and Spider-Man and Venom are teaming up. It's that much scarier, and that's why they're getting help and they're working together.
Well, you know,
fucking force. Like I don't understand
they
why
had Woody Harrelson to be Carnage. Woody Harrelson is Sinister when he puts on that role and that type of acting. So
and they botched his fucking movie, dude.
Yep.
Also, the guy who played Rorschach and the remake of Freddy Krueger, I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Yep.
He perfect.
Oh yeah,
dude. There's a lot of people. A lot of people can be perfect.
For Tom Holland, Cameron Monaghan would be the perfect Cletus Kasady.
Is that like who's that?
He played the Joker in Gotham and Shameless.
Oh yeah,
no.
He's not a bad psychopath.
He's a really good actor.
Oh, no,
really good psychopath.
You gotta watch him in Amityville Horror.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
Psychotic in that, man. He was.
If you're going for a younger actor, I can understand.
We don't need that. You know what I mean? Like I'm tired of how many times we're going to do origin stories. How many times? It's the same thing with horror films. How many times we're going to do this shit over and over again? Like, why can't we just create new stories? Why can't we say this character is already established?
Well, the rumor is now, with the success of what Craven is doing on streaming now, because it didn't do well in the box office.
Successful in streaming?
Yeah, it's becoming
Craven's streaming.
Yeah.
Craven.
They're going to bring Aaron Taylor Johnson back as Craven.
Why,
dude?
Dude,
well, I mean,
again,
who would you have as Craven? Just like in your honest opinions.
Me?
I mean, I liked him as Craven. I just wish he would have kept the Russian accent throughout the movie.
He's too small.
Way too small.
It's been variations of Craven. Like I got comics of Craven where he was more lean and athletic than being a big, bulky guy.
I don't like that. I like a beefy Craven.
Frank Grillo
would have been a good.
Frank Grillo would be incredible.
Yeah, Frank Grillo would have been a good Craven.
Speaking of which, so allegedly that James Gunn wants to do Creature Commandos live action and wants to bring Frank Grillo in it.
Well, no. So what happens is all the actors that are doing voices, they already made that announcement before they release. All the actors that does voices are going to be the same characters in live action.
Dude, I would love that because that show is fucking phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
The show is phenomenal.
So Alan Tudyk is going to play Clayface in live action.
Gotcha.
And Dr. Phosphorus.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for an old comment because I'm going to just kick off the story here.
I want to be Dr. Phosphorus. Hire me.
I love Dr.
He's my favorite character, bro. He's my favorite character in that fucking show, dude. Are you smiling right now? Whoa, I'm a freaking skeleton. Well, are you smiling? Yeah, but you would never know.
Right here. James Gunn needs to be fired if that movie fails. Superman.
Yeah.
Batman. The Batman 2 is starting to have rumors that it is officially done. It is canceled.
Thank God.
They're not moving.
Thank
what?
God. Thank God. The movie was boring as fuck.
I'm upset, man, because I love the Batman. And
listen, here's the deal.
Giancarlo Esposito was going to be because he was pitching to be Mr. Freeze.
Here's the deal. Do I love that they finally made Batman the world's greatest detective? Kind of. Because everyone's like, it's comic book accurate. No, it's not. But it's Batman year one. Doesn't matter. Batman is smarter than that. right? Batman's way smarter than that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the fact that we have Rob Pattinson as Batman, trash. Okay.
Oh my god,
trash.
Oh, he was great.
Why?
Trash, bro.
Why?
The
Why?
Joker design, trash. And thank you, Michael Joe. And here's the deal: Colin Farrell as Penguin, fucking nailed it, incredible, right? But that movie was so long, and I literally was falling asleep. You literally, guys, hear me out. You can take all the other characters out of that fucking movie and just had it Batman and Riddler, and the movie would still end up the same exact way with no other further consequences. Still would have panned out, and it would have been a lot shorter movie. It would have been way more full of action, the whole 9. All you had to do is take all those characters out, take out Catwoman, take out this person, take all of them out, and just had Batman and the Riddler, and it was still pan out the same way it would have been. And let's say, all right, leave Rob Pattinson, cool, whatever. If you even would have made him smarter and not rely on Alfred for fucking everything to help him figure out shit, way better movie. Just saying. So when people are like, oh, Batman, dude, I'm glad the Batman 2 is not going. I'm glad.
I like Pattinson as Batman. I mean, he's not my favorite, but I really enjoyed him. One, because I was a fan of his.
Twilight
anyway,
Bruce Wayne, dude.
That he did. You talk about Twilight. Everybody.
Yeah, see, that's
Twilight Bruce Wayne.
I think that we need to stop.
He is. Listen, he is because he's been in other movies.
Robert Pattinson as an actor. He wasn't the same at all. I've seen the Twilight films. I was forced to watch that entire fucking franchise. It is so shit. It is not the same performance. It is not the same performance at all.
You talk about emo Batman is not the same?
It's not the same performance.
Emo Batman is not the same.
God. That's so crazy.
Man,
it's not
Cosmopolitan,
no, not.
Dude,
Water for Elephants.
Rob Pattinson, I'm not going to argue with you. Rob Pattinson is an incredible actor, like you guys are saying. I agree 100%. But this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. Okay? You know, we got to find we have to find finally like someone that can embody Bruce Wayne and Batman perfectly, and someone to embody the Joker perfectly. Because Heath Ledger did a hell of a great job.
I'm curious if they do introduce Joker again with Barry Keoghan.
I had no interest in the Barry Keoghan Joker.
Dude, he looks like a fucking mutant, bro.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a player in the second movie anyway. So what I was being like, it was gonna be Clayface, it was gonna be Mr. Freeze, and then I think maybe. And then the Mad Hatter. Well, the Clayface was going to be in Batman. I thought was a rumor as well. Like, but I know Mr. Freeze is the main villain. They were going to introduce maybe the Mad Hatter as well, which I love that story at least in the animated universe. I love that story.
Yeah. You better bring back Arnold for Mr. Freeze.
I don't give any singular shits about Barry Keoghan's Joker, but I know that his Joker wasn't playing a part in the second movie, anyways. So I don't give a shit. But Robert Pattinson's Batman was a great first story. I love that Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer Batman and Robin over the Batman.
Oh, you just get
okay, everyone, chill. Batman, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
That movie, the man had a credit card with the Batman.
You have the Batman credit card, bro. Oh yes.
Oh god.
Batman, what will it be? So chase the villain or save the boy? Your emotions make you weak. That's why this remains mine.
Respect to Joel Schumacher because I love some of his other movies. You know what I mean? But those two Batman movies, I mean, he focused so much on their butts and their car pieces. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Hell yeah, bat nipples, bro. The bat nipples. Hell yeah, brother. First in Val Kilmer's Batman at the end, and then in this one all day.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, let's end it on Batman talk. Who is it, Christian Bale or Michael Keaton?
Ooh.
Oh man,
you know
I love
what,
them
though?
both equally, dude.
I'm gonna.
Because Batman Returns is like my favorite.
Oh, incredible, bro.
Yeah, Batman Returns is like my favorite of all the Batman movies, and then Batman Begins, and then Batman 89.
Oh, we're talking about best Batman.
Yeah, I'm torn between.
How dare you leave out Adam West?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
About the embodiment of Bruce Wayne and Batman, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, of course, but we're live action.
Live action.
Dude, honestly, my favorite Batman besides Kevin Conroy is Lego Batman. It's the best Batman. But Christian Bale because he is the beginning of him. Nah, you know what though? Honestly, if I had to say it, if I had to pick, dude, Michael, like I said, god damn it, it's hard. Michael Keaton was incredible. However, he wasn't the suave dude that Bruce Wayne's supposed to be. The closest that we've ever gotten to that was Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne, but he wasn't a great Batman. I think the embodiment of like a Batman by himself that you saw his moves, martial arts, and all this jazz was actually Ben Affleck's Batman. How he zipped in and did martial arts and all this other jazz and used his gadgets. But again, to have someone perfectly blend it, I don't think we had that yet. If you want to talk about at least one actor that maybe had a bit of both, I would have to give it to Michael Keaton being the closest, right? But it's still not there, man.
Yeah,
we need someone better.
Christian Bale was too slow to fight. Like his fighting scenes were really slow.
Well, they were using KFM, and KFM is hard.
Yeah, I get that, but
that was Christopher Nolan's fault.
And he's right. Batman is
that was Nolan's fault on the voice.
He's using gadgets, but like it was more realism. Like Batman was real. Like if Batman was like really real in our universe, like how he would exist. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. The only person that I can think of that perfectly embodied how Bruce Wayne acted in contrast to how Batman really is, Kevin Conroy's animated voice acting performance is the only one.
Yeah, of course. But we're talking about live action, though. We're talking about live action.
If we're talking about live action, I can't give that answer because if we're going to talk about perfect, there wasn't one. There isn't a perfect.
Yeah. Like to me, Michael Keaton was the embodiment of what Ben Affleck was trying to do. Like the older, jaded, more seasoned, you know, Batman and Bruce Wayne. Michael Keaton was the embodiment of that. But again, like what Danny said, it was just like, I don't know, like he was lacking that suaveness, that you know, or that pompous attitude, that fakeness that he was supposed to put on. You know what I mean?
I don't see Alan Richardson being Batman. I'm sorry, I can't see him being Batman.
Do.
I think that they made the wrong Superman casting choice size wise. Alan Richardson does it, and he also has like that real life persona to be a larger than life character. He would have been a good Superman. Batman, I don't think that he can do Bruce Wayne and Batman's character. I'm glad that he wants to do it. I love the excitement to be a part of that universe and want to be comfortable with those characters. I think that he should have been Superman. I don't think that he should be Batman.
Did you watch him in Titans?
I'll drop this.
I did see his scenes in Titan. I don't think that convinces me.
I'll drop this nugget. They should have Marcus. What's his name from Supernatural? The one that did Red Hood's voice.
Oh,
Jensen Ackles. He wants to do it too.
Jensen Ackles.
He will be perfect. He
would be perfect as Batman, and then have the dude that played Negan as his father for the other Batman. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, technically he was Thomas Wayne for Ben Affleck's Batman.
Mm-hmm. Who is Thomas Wayne?
Negan.
Batman's father.
Yep.
Yeah. But they need to have him for real as Thomas Wayne's Batman.
Yeah.
I think he'd be perfect.
What they need to do is just follow the animated storyline that they had. Like
DC animated movies are untouchable, dude. DC
Jake Gyllenhaal's name has been in the mix lately.
No.
Give a shit for what? For what?
For Batman?
Fuck off, dude.
No, I'm not picking that. But no, CG just brought it up, and I did see that article. I did see that.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I disagree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Michael Keaton would be my choice, definitely, for Batman.
Well, they finally bringing my boy into the DC live action from the TV show, Green Arrow, Ollie.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they cast him. It's the guy that played. It's the actor that played in the Last House on the Left remake, 2009 remake. He played Krug in that, and he was also a Terminator in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Gotcha. They need to bring back the Flash from the TV show to be Flash.
Yes.
Grant Gustin?
Yes, Grant.
Yeah.
Grant
they need to bring him back as Flash in the DCU, man. They need to. Like, you know how, bro, listen, that movie could be straight up fucking doo-doo, and people would just go and see it. They would make so much money if they did that.
That's where DC got it wrong all the time. Like, when they were bringing back Superman, why didn't just transfer Smallville right onto the big screen? Because you had the built-in fan base. Yeah, but you had
Smallville was great, dude.
business decision. You have the fan base already.
People like Smallville.
Yeah,
like
Smallville was amazing.
I think a movie like a mainstream production movie would have done great.
Yeah, and then you have the fan base that follows you. Then you introduce a whole new audience to that character. It's like, oh wait, there's a TV show that's going to give me all of his backstory. I'm going to go watch that and buy that. Now.
Absolutely,
win-win situation. Yeah.
And then when they did Crisis of Infinite Earths, and they brought Kevin Conroy as a live action Batman, which they did him dirty, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible. And then they brought the Smallville actor, and then to show that he actually gave up his powers for his family was an incredible touch.
That was
incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Are they rebooting that series? Like they're bringing it back or something like that? So like, how the hell does that work now?
You know what?
I hope,
honestly,
it ended with him finally having the suit, and that was it. That was the end of the show.
Yeah, that was it. And then
so you can have it in between. Yeah, and now you can have it in between from then to when he finally gives up his powers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good.
Me personally, I wish Gunn would have because
Adam Driver's Batman.
Took over, he when he made the announcement that everything was gonna be connected, the TV shows, the animated movies, the video games were gonna be connected in his world. I really wish, I was like, if that's the case, Tyler Hoechlin has been a hell of a Superman in the TV show and Superman and Lois. I wish they would have kept him as Superman instead of this new actor.
I mean, they ended it pretty wild though. They ended Superman and Lois pretty wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean that was a pretty good ending, but how, you know what I mean? It's one of those that it was a good ending, but it's not a Superman ending. You know what I mean?
It's not a Superman.
It was a great emotional ending though. You know what I mean? It's like
killing them all.
What do you do?
And living his life. Yeah.
But living his life, and he just end up dying natural causes. It was great.
This I was trying to avoid this, so we had Nerdy Kitty suggesting Adam Driver as Batman, but
no.
This is worse.
I don't like Adam Driver like that.
I'd rather have Rob Pattinson as Batman than Adam Driver.
So
good Batman.
This is the worst decision ever. No.
Glenn Powell?
This is
He would be a good Ollie, but he wouldn't be a good Batman.
Not Glenn Powell. No.
Ollie, as in
Oliver Queen.
Oliver as in like
Oliver
Superman
Queen,
sidekick?
Green Arrow. No,
Green
as in
Arrow.
Green Arrow.
Oliver. Oh, okay.
Oliver.
Oh, sorry.
He would be a
My
good
brain
Green
went
Arrow.
like that.
No Glenn
I
Powell.
think the Green Arrow we got from the Arrowverse is
Glenn
good
Powell out of every comic book movie, please.
Booster Gold. Booster Gold.
Well, you know
someone
who he's
said it
playing
last
now.
week.
You know what his new movie is, right?
I don't
Have
give
you
a
heard?
shit.
They're remaking The Running Man, and so he's playing Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Why not just have Arnold do that?
Yeah, for real. By the way, here's the deal. You know what I think they should do for Batman, and leave all this dumb shit behind and stop trying to reboot origin stories and stuff like that. They need to do a live action The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, I would like that. Even though they did that in Batman vs. Superman a little bit with the fight.
Yeah, they did a little bit, and Ben Affleck's supposed to be that guy, but no, dude. They need to do the story, the Frank Miller story of The Dark Knight Returns, because that final fight between him and Joker is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's like, what has the Joker been up to this entire time? He is comatose because he lost his will to live because Batman fucking retires. Dude, you're talking about the most heinous villain gave up because Batman decided to retire. And then as soon as Batman came back, all in, baby. Oh, phenomenal.
That or Batman Beyond. Just flush it all out and go.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond, I agree with you 1,000,000%, bro. And they were supposed to do an animated movie, by the way. The guys that made Into the Spider-Verse wanted to do that, and they fucking canceled it, dude.
They're actually working on the Batman Beyond movie.
You're stupid. Of course it would have made money.
Dude, it would have made so much money. Are you joking?
He's on a tax write-off. He's on a tax write-off, you fucking losers.
So CG brought up a big point.
Making movies.
They introduced Batman and Creature Commandos in that one episode. So when they do bring him in live action, he's already going to be established. It's not going to be an origin story.
Good.
So they did confirm
that.
that.
Caped Crusader on Amazon Prime Video.
Listen, I'll believe it when I see it, because apparently Superman was supposed to be established already, and here we are again. What are we doing?
That's true. Yeah. Caped Crusader, Amazon Prime Video. It is another origin story, but I thought it was really good. I like that Batman cartoon. Animation, I wasn't a huge fan of. I get the way that they were trying to make it look like it's from the 20s. I thought that was a good story though. They need to stop making live action comic movies for everyday fans though. Give me Batman versus with the Turtles. I'm so sick of I'm so sick of like this like it has to be somewhat realistic and somewhat grounded for the fans. No, I want World Breaker Hulk. If we want to go back to Hulk, I want World Breaker Hulk. I want World War Hulk. I want the Illuminati sending this motherfucker to another planet because they thought he was too dangerous.
Yeah, and they already brought Scar in.
Oh, my arm is
doing?
burned
I
from
want
the Infinity
Maestro.
Gauntlet. I can't fight in any of the scenes in the final fight of Endgame.
I want Maestro. They need to introduce
We need
Maestro.
comic movies for comic
Oh
movies,
yeah,
not
they introduced Maestro. Yeah. But no, I agree with you. Listen, could you imagine, guys, Batman and then the Ninja Turtles, but the live action suits that they used to have?
Yes, from the 90s.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention the 90s suits earlier because we were talking about like what extra bonus features on movies, and I have the DVD, and there's a video game that you can play where you go through the sewers with pizza, and you don't want to get caught by the foot soldiers. That was so much fun to play as a kid. But like live action suits fighting like the live action ninjas, like that would be so much fun to see on.
No more CGI turtles. No more CGI turtles.
Bring back Kevin Nash as Super Shredder. Bring back Kevin Nash as Super Shredder, bro.
One last.
You didn't know Kevin Nash
I
was
was
Super
just playing
Shredder?
Shredder's Revenge. I was just playing the arcade game Shredder's Revenge. So much fun. So much fun.
Hold
One
up.
last comic news. Did y'all hear?
Hold on. Nobody knew that Kevin Nash was Super Shredder?
I know.
Yeah, I did.
Which one? In the first movie?
No, in the second movie, Super Shredder. Super Shredder was Kevin Nash.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He played the Russian.
But I mean, that movie came out before I was born, so I feel like I get a pass on that one.
Yeah, you do. You do get a pass.
So it's been announced. We are officially Amazon, and the creators of The Boys are officially bringing Dredd back with Carl Urban in the role.
Wow.
Oh, a new season of The Boys?
No.
Dredd. They're bringing back Dredd with Carl Urban.
Oh, you talking about because wasn't he Dredd in the last one? Oh, hell yeah, dude! Fuck yeah!
And it's going to be a series. So the people behind the Boys making it. Yeah.
Whenever Danny gets excited, his audio and his video crash.
Yeah, he's frozen.
I'm frozen in time.
Yeah, so that's official.
The
So
animated
after
movie
they
was
do,
good. I will say I don't like the blue and gray suit of Batman. I prefer black and gray.
Oh, I love it, dude.
It did look good. The gray suit looked good in the Flash.
I like the gray suit. I like black and gray. Black and gray suit is my favorite suit. I think that's the best suit in my opinion. I don't know. The blue makes it too childish. I think it's because I just think of Adam West. Like the blue and gray reminds me of Adam West. It makes it a little too childish for me. I think. I understand if you like the I like the black and gray.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't the black and gray? Hold on. Wasn't the black and gray, Dave, or was it blue and gray? No, I believe it's the black and gray. Wasn't the black and no the one that the one that debuted in Dark Knight Returns? That was Batman's first appearance in that costume.
Oh, in the comics. In the comics.
Yeah, in the comics.
Black and gray.
Yeah.
Was it black and gray? Right, the black and gray one, right?
Yeah, it was black and gray.
Like the super long pointy ears, big cape, black and gray. That's what I'm here for. I love that.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we've talked about horror. We talked about comics. We talked about Judge Dredd getting a TV series. We're also getting a Tremors TV show. So I think it's a good point to call it here. We'll get back next week. If you like this episode and you want to see us talk more about news, let us know in the comments. If not, we'll get back to ranking some Scream stuff. I know you guys love Scream, but we get tired of talking to Scream about all the time.
Just sometimes we need to talk about our other nerd stuff. Like my stuff. I'm a Godzilla fan myself. That's what I live for.
Who brought it up?
Yes, CG brought it up. So I'm not really like caring about guns, DC, outside of like Creature Commandos and stuff and the Lanterns, but I am excited to see Millie Alcott as Kara Zor-El in Supergirl next year because I loved her in House of the Dragon, man.
We'll see.
Let's see how many James Gunn.
If they make Lobo as R-rated as he is in the comics, like if he's truly fucking people up, I will be interested in the movie.
He looks great though.
He looks fantastic. He looks fantastic.
Those photos are fake. Just to let you guys know, they're already. Yep, they're fake photos.
Boo.
Hey Scott, we're getting ready to sign off. Thanks for joining us. Let me see. They're remaking the. Yes.
Yeah, Silent Night. Yeah.
That's something that we should talk about next week because it's what's his name from Halloween Ends that's going to be playing Billy. And,
right. Yeah.
Corey, the dude that played Corey.
I think we briefly mentioned it last week. Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. Like I only seen the first one. I know the second one's basically the first one retold. It's the same exact movie, pretty much. I don't know.
Let's talk about that next week.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
watch
okay.
Garbage Day. Gotta watch Garbage Day.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. We're all gonna head out and do our things. It's been a long week. A lot of board game stuff that should be coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. And we'll catch you very soon.
Yeah, give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe.
And remember, Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is the same canonically, so it doesn't matter if they seem weaker.
But he's still a shithole.
Listen to me.
I'm not saying it's not a shit Hulk, but I'm
you need
saying
to
it
shut
doesn't
your
matter.
mouth. You need to take a chill.